Anyway, I might be able to put it back on though. We'll see. Oh boy. So anyway, I thought I was going home today at 11, and then 12, and then 1. Yeah, something came undone. Some wire came undone. So right now they probably think I'm dead in the other room. But anyway, if they come rushing in, so obviously all day long I've been a pincushion. This arm, that arm, checking my blood, and they just come in randomly without notice. So at any time somebody might come in. Okay, I was going to put another shirt on, but I can't because of all the gadgets and everything attached to me. So I can't put anything else on. So you're going to have to deal with me this way. So I'm lucky because I happen to carry around with me a microphone. Yes, I do. It was in my car from when I do the stuff in my office. So I had that for tonight. So yeah, Dr. Butler. Yeah, they don't dress like this, the doctors, So anyway, so here's what happened. Okay, so yesterday afternoon I was going around to the houses. In fact, I did talk to the new properties, and I was driving around. I felt a little tightness in my chest, but I didn't think anything of it. I kind of went away. I went home, had a good night last night, watched some TV with my wife, had a nice night. Then this morning I got up at 6 o'clock. I left the house. So my construction crew starts at 7 o'clock. They start at 7. So if I have to meet them somewhere, I like to be there first. So that's what happened. I started early this morning, went to one of my properties to measure a kitchen. It's one property I haven't even shown you folks yet, but you'll be seeing that. I went there to measure a kitchen this morning. I left there, went to another property that you guys have not seen in Warwick, where we just got an electrical permit. So I was meeting the electrician there to go over the project at 7:30. I left there because I'm on the phone with a friend of mine. I was on the way to the office, and all of a sudden I started getting really, really bad chest pains. So it's about 15 minutes to my office. So the whole time I was driving to my office, the pains were getting a little worse, a little worse. I said, you know what? I'm not going to go to the office. I'm going to go to the hospital to get checked and see what the story is. So that's what I did. I drove right to the hospital, came in. This hospital's great, by the way, and treating me great. They treat me like a king, though they don't feed you. But I figured out the secret on that. I'm going to tell you the secret. They don't feed you, so by the time they do give you the food, oh, this hospital food's great. That's what they do. All right, I know their trick. That's why they leave you, hungry. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I had this pain, and they, did tests, EKG, AKG. They did a X-ray. They did some blood tests. Now I have type 2 diabetes, so my sugar level is high right now. They just gave me insulin about 10 minutes ago. It could be high because of the stress. When I get sick, my diabetes, my sugar level gets really high, out of control in the 300s. It's ridiculous. It's when I get sick. If I have a cold or a flu or something like that, it goes up high and I can't control it. I remember I had a tooth infection once. The tooth infection made my diabetes go. So you know what? If you look at me the wrong way, my diabetes, my sugar level goes high. Anyway, so that's the story with that. Well, you went, make money. You did? You went to the casino and back-to-back jackpots? Oh, figures, right? When are we going to go? See, now you're making me all jealous. So anyway, so I wait, what's going here? Everyone tap the screen, please. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really, I never knew about the tapping the screen thing until the last time we were on. That was really, really cool. But anyway, so I'm still sitting. So here's what happened. I thought I was leaving at 2 o'clock. And all of a sudden they came in. All right, see, now right now, I'm on an automatic blood pressure thing. See, it's filling up with air right now. Squeezes my arm, cuts off the circulation to my arm. It's automatic. There's a machine over there doing it. And I guess it sends it over to the to the nurse. But see, it cuts off the circulation. Now I'm all numb now. I have no feeling in my arm. And anyway, but then it feels good when it releases. So anyway, so at 2 o'clock, I thought they were going to let me go. My wife thought they were going to let me go. Then all of a sudden, they said, we're keeping you for 24 more hours for observation. Tomorrow morning they scheduled a stress test, where you run on the treadmill type of thing. So I got that tomorrow morning. But I did pass all the other tests, but there was something in my EKG that I guess caused them the concern to do the stress test. I feel fine. My pain has gone away in my chest, by the way. So you know what? Today I've been here. I've been here all day since I got here at 7:30, 7:45. And what time is it now? 7. So I've been here 12 hours. I've gotten a lot done. So I have my iPhone, which I'm talking, my iPhone 13 Plus, which I'm talking to you on. I got my iPad, and I got my regular iPhone. I got a lot done today. Mostly on the phone, email, text. So I did get a lot done. I got great managers. My managers handle everything. They got everything done today. Every single one of them, all the projects kept moving along, which is really nice. So that's the funny part too. So I don't tell, when something happens like this, I don't tell anybody. I keep it a secret. I'll tell one person, like I told Andrew this morning. I said, Andrew, look, just to let you know, but let's keep everything going. Of course, then I made a not stupid mistake, but then I didn't realize when I put it on TikTok how many people would see it. But besides the 200,000 followers, all the people that, all the people that know me, that follow me and don't say they follow me, you know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people, which I found out, that are followers, but that actually don't say they're followers, you know what I mean? They're like, do you remember when Trump ran for president and everyone said, oh yeah, I'm not voting for him, I'm not voting for him, I'm not voting for him, but then he won? Don't you think that's funny, all the closet Trump followers? I remember that, right? Everyone was surprised. It was shocking when he won. It was shocking because nobody was voting for him, and he won. So that's how it is with me. I have 200,000 followers, right? But nobody follows me. When I talk to people, I don't follow you. So anyway, so that's the story with that. So let's see. So interesting. Here's the question about being a patient. That's a funny story. I had a very, very close friend of mine who passed away about 4 years ago. His name was Joe Rubin. Very close friend. He was 84 when he died. We were best friends. So he was a lot older than me. I met him when I used to work at a radio station when I was 19 years old. He was the movie reviewer. He would go to the movies, watch movies, come back to the station. And I met him because I was a producer at the station. So I would record him doing his reviews. And we got friendly. He happened to live a couple streets over from me in a coincidence. We became good friends. So as we became friends, he was never married, never had any children, so we were just really close friends. So as he got older, I started taking care of him. He was the best patient in the world, and he got ill. When he got older, he got ill. He had a couple of mini strokes and had cancer, but he was a great patient. I used to spend a lot of time with him in this hospital, and he was a great patient. Now, when I say about a great patient is he would crack jokes with the nurses, crack jokes with the doctor. Very, very pleasant. He was not a miserable patient. He was a really nice older gentleman. The other unique thing about him is that being 84, and of course when I met him he was 50, and I was 20. He was very young at heart. Very young at heart. He knew Lady Gaga. He knew music. At 80 years old, he could tell you what the top 40 was. He was very current. He was very current, man. And it was enjoyable hanging out with him. It was very enjoyable because he did crack very current jokes. He was very pleasant. Nurses and doctors loved him. He went into the nursing home. They loved him. He was pleasant to be around because he joked with them. He had fun with them. He did some off-color jokes too, which was really funny. I'm going to tell you a funny joke. I will tell you that he was in the hospital just like I am today. He had one of these Johnnies on just like I do today. He's 84 years old. The doctor came in. Female doctor, very pretty, well-endowed female doctor came in. So when they come in, they put the stethoscope against you and they say, deep breaths, deep breaths. So she was doing that. So she was leaning over him. This is a true story. I was sitting across the room. She was leaning over Joe and she said, okay, take deep breaths. And she put the stethoscope on his back and he leaned forward and she's leaning over him and she goes, deep breaths. And then he said, yes, they are very nice breasts. I turned so red I couldn't believe it. She laughed at it, but those were the kind of jokes that he would tell at 84 years old. Okay, he was a character, But anyway, okay, not to be funny, but did you see the? No, I did not. I did not see that. I did not. Hey, by the way, I'm watching a great series with my wife. We've been binging Reacher. The Jack Reacher series that they got on. I think it's Prime. And we've been binging it this week, and it's very, very good. We've seen 5 episodes. I'm good for 2 episodes a night, and then I fall asleep. So we've seen 5, though. We have 2 left. We were going to watch the other 2 tonight, and of course, I'm here now. So let's see. What happened to a new landlord takes over? What happens to the security deposit? That's a good question. That came up yesterday. Security deposits transfer to the new landlord. So when I buy a piece of property, that's part of the closing documents. We find out, say they have 10,000 in security deposits. Those come to me. So if a tenant moves out, I have to give them their security deposit back. Interesting fact, yesterday the 19 apartments I got, I think I've talked about it a few times, that was an old-fashioned landlord, handshake type of landlord. The tenants have all been there 15, 20. One tenant's been there 35 years. Some of them don't have any security deposits. One security deposit, which is only $25. So that was a unique situation. Old-fashioned landlord, old-fashioned situation. Met most of the tenants yesterday. Some were home. Very nice tenants. I got to tell you, it was pleasant to walk around and meet all those tenants yesterday. There were some that we didn't meet. couple that are way behind in their rent that I left a message for. They didn't call me, so I'm a little concerned there. But it was a real pleasant surprise going around to the properties. Of course, you saw that garage that was buried in the back that I had no idea was there until yesterday. Beautiful, deep two-car garage. I'm at Kent County Hospital in Warwick, actually. It's convenient for me, so I'm at Kent County Hospital. This hospital, I was born in 57 years ago. Little known fact. I just figured I'd share that piece of trivia. So I was born here in 57 years ago at Kent County Hospital. They're supposed to let me out tomorrow afternoon. Supposed to get out tomorrow afternoon. So here's what happened. So I did a TikTok on it. So I came here at 7:30 this morning. I had nothing to eat or drink all day. I was starving. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So Brian from the office, I called him because I needed my iPad, I needed my stand to do my TikTok, all the important stuff, right? So I said, look, can you do me a favor? Sneak me in some food when you get it. So he did. He brought the bag with my stuff in it. Inside the bag was McDonald's, cheeseburgers and fries and a Coke. Thank God, that was at 3 o'clock. I ate that, and then, of course, I just had my snack for dinner. So I'm good. But the nurses are very good. They just brought me a pitcher of water because I always need to, when I do my TikTok, I'm talking so much, my mouth gets dry, I need to drink. And they give me the giant cup, the small cups for water, but that's okay. So I can just keep refilling it from the pitcher. Everything is small in the hospital, right? So look, the small cup, right? Then you got the small little pill cup, right? And then look at the pitcher. This is a pitcher. To me, this is a regular cup. See, look, it's just a pitcher. So, but I'm really glad they gave it to me, so I can't complain. They've been really, really good. They come in, they explain all the time what's going on. And like I said, they'll come in at a moment's notice. They do check my blood every 2 hours. So I timed it where I think it's going to be before and after my live. We'll see. Anyway, so so I didn't tell anybody that I was in the hospital. Then, of course, I did the TikTok, and that's when everybody realized today I was in the hospital. But I thought I was going to be out by then, to be honest with you. I really thought, okay, whatever it is, it's going to go away. It did go away, but for some reason they want to keep me here. I'm going to do the stress test tomorrow. I did have a stress test about 10 years ago where you run on a treadmill. I remember doing that at least 10 years ago. That's the last time I had one. So we'll see what happens. Make money. We've talked about going to the casino. I'm serious. We really need to go to the casino. I need to get out, especially on the weekends. I love going on the weekends, having a break. But I go in the middle of the night because I'm a crazy nut. I don't sleep. So I go like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning when there's nobody there. It's quiet. I like to play at a quiet table where nobody's yelling and screaming and bothering, that type of thing. So anyway, I wanted to talk about the transition. So yesterday it was interesting because it was an old-fashioned landlord. These tenants are all older tenants, and some of them have legitimately fallen behind in their rent. So I'm not going to come in as the new landlord. Okay, you're behind, get out. I talked to them yesterday, and as I met them, and told them, look, let's help you folks apply for rent relief. Everyone's applying for rent relief. They're giving it out to everybody anyway. Why not get these people back on track with rent relief? Why have them be behind with me and start the relationship that way? So today what I did was, while I was here, I called the office. I told Andrew, why don't you have Jasmine and Heather reach out to all those tenants and let's start the procedure of the process of applying for the rent relief to see if they'll get it, I'd much rather do that. I got to stock up on hospital supplies. You're going to see the rubber gloves I got. I got 2 boxes of them over there. Other than that, there's really not many supplies here that I really want, I don't know. The blanket is thin. Oh, we'll see. I'm sure something might come up that I want. Bedpans, that's what I'll do. I'll sneak out a couple bedpans. Those come in handy when you're too lazy to get out and go to the bathroom, right? So yeah, the rubber gloves, exactly. Oh, masks, that's true. I still have the original one I came in with today. I right here, they didn't offer me a new mask, cheapskates. So I still have the original mask I came in with that was in my car this morning. So anyway, so that's what's going on right now. Let's see. I got to tell you something. The hospital food is not bad. I had turkey for dinner tonight with gravy on it. I made a joke about it. I had turkey. It was very good. The 2 bites. I mean, I could have had 3 times the amount, okay? But yeah, it was very good. And it had good gravy. I agree. In fact, the gravy is almost like the gravy on Kentucky Fried Chicken mashed potatoes. It's almost the same type of gravy. I love that gravy too. Oh, boy, do I love that gravy. So Ben Butt is on here. So by the way, so this is my Johnny. Does anybody know why they call it a Johnny? I should have asked, but they probably don't know either. I want to take a survey. Does anybody know on TikTok why they call it a Johnny? I'd like to know why they call it a Johnny. I'd like to know. Where did the word Johnny come from? I'm wearing it. It should be a Jeffrey. right? So, anyway, that's the story of that. And like I said, I was going to put my shirt back on, but I can't because I'm all wired. Look, I got these wires coming out of this arm. I got these wires coming out of this arm. So I can't, and I got all things on my chest going to a machine. So I can't really put my shirt on, unfortunately. So you got to see me wearing this thing, So to use the restroom, so I'm all plugged in. It's all plugs. So that's what I do. I have to unplug like 5 plugs, and I go to the restroom and I come back. So the funny thing is, earlier today, being a little technically, knowledgeable, I went to I pushed the button and told them I had to go to the bathroom. They came, they unplugged me, and I went to the bathroom. I came back, I plugged myself back in and laid down. So when they came to plug me all back in, like, oh, somebody already got you. I said, yeah, I did it. So sorry to do your job for you, but I just figured, hey, let me just hook myself back up. Let's see, what other questions do you have? Oh, is that what it is? Okay, so somebody said it's a Johnny, so when you go to the John, you don't have to drop trow. Okay, all right, that sounds legitimate. That sounds reasonable. Okay, that makes sense. The Johnny. All right, when you go to the John. All right, why do they call the John the John? Let's take it one step further. Why do they call the John the John? If this is a Johnny, why do you have to go to the John? Let's see if anyone knows the answer to that one. You're looking to buy a multifamily. What's the best city to buy? Well, what area are you in? I'd like to know what area you're in, and then I could probably answer it a little bit better. If obviously you're talking to Rhode Island, I can answer based on my experiences in Rhode Island. But I'd be curious to know. The John Crapper was invented by John Crapper, so they called it the Johnny instead of the Crapper. Wouldn't it be the Crapper though instead of the Johnny? But maybe you're right. So if you're in San Francisco, San Francisco, the property. My brother lives, right outside San Francisco. The property values there are out of control. I think, in fact, I know they do a lot of TV shows and buying and flipping in California and San Francisco. But it seems to me like, yes, you can pay rent online. I'll talk about that. It seems to me like anywhere in that area and outside of San Francisco, it would be any place to buy a good multifamily because the property values are unbelievable there. As far as paying the rent online, so with me, what I do is this. My tenants they can pay, obviously can mail in the check. We use Zelle. So most banks right now have that money changing service or a money transfer service called Zelle. It's free. It's a free service. We encourage our tenants to use Zelle. It's electronic. It's safe. The money comes to us immediately. There's no delay. If they send it right now, it shows up right now. So we encourage electronically for our tenants to pay with Zelle. A lot of tenants, come in and pay cash in the office, which is fine. They get a receipt. Online payments, we're not set up to take, though our cloud service that we use. So we have a service because I have 380 tenants now, almost to 400, but we have 380 right now as of today. We have a service called Tenant Cloud, and when we get the tenant, we give them a username and password. They log in. They can send us messages. They can put in maintenance requests for Tenant Cloud. They can see what they owe on their account in Tenant Cloud, but we don't have them pay the rent in Tenant Cloud because it costs them a fee, the tenants, and it costs us a fee. So the Tenant Cloud, there's a little bit, greedy. I would say the company's greedy. So we tell the tenants, look, don't waste your money. Either sell it to us, which is free, send us a check, which is free, drop it off in the office, which is free. So they have different options there. Let's see, what else is there? Let's see. I'm doing fine. I know people ask how I'm doing. I'm doing fine. I feel fine. Like I said, let me just show you again. I closed the door. See, that's my door. It's a soundproof curtain. Yeah, really. No, it's not. So I'm still in the... It's interesting. I'm down on the first floor, which is the emergency room area, but they gave me this private room here because I guess there are no beds available upstairs. But this is more convenient. Do you know how convenient I am? I'm literally right inside the door to the lobby. So today, when my wife came to drop something off, I just stuck my head out the door. You're not supposed to, and she just handed me the bag. Same with Brian. I just handed the bag. So I'm actually in a perfect place. If I stay here till tomorrow, I'm fine with that. I don't need a TV. I got my iPad. I'm very comfortable in here. Plus, I like the nurses. I like the staff down here. Everything's good, The wires are pulling on me. There we go. So that's the story with that. I'm glad I'm wearing the microphone, though, because it is kind of loud. You can hear, like, noises and beeps and stuff from the other rooms. So, anyway. Yeah, yeah, I would say there's some hot nurses here. You know, I didn't tell them I was going on TikTok, so who knows? They might be in the other room watching me. But yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, they actually gave me a COVID test about 6 o'clock. Told me they'd have the results in 2 hours. I don't think I have COVID. I have the vaccination plus the booster, so I'd be surprised if I had COVID. But I'm here minding my own business in my room. Um, but anyway, yeah, so here's the story with that. So again, I consider myself a good patient. I learned from my friend Joe Rubin to be a good patient. The nurses come in, I crack jokes with them, you know, and I'm pleasant. You don't want to be a miserable patient because then they don't want to come in and take care of you. If you're easygoing and pleasant, they'll come in, they'll talk to you, and sometimes too, they'll share information with you that normally they're not supposed to share. Think about it, right? They're supposed to wait for the doctor to tell you. But look, if you're pleasant, you're joking around, sometimes you can get a little information out of them, you know, as to how things came out in tests and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, so I got my 3 shots. All right, I have a bad case of the many properties taker. So you know what's interesting about that? Yeah, sometimes I get stressed. You know, the number of property units I get does not stress me out. I will tell people what stresses me out. You know, Butler Waste, the garbage company I own, the trash company I own, that is a very stressful business to own. Every day there's a broken truck. Every day there's a broken mailbox that somebody had, or a broken driveway, or a broken this, or a broken that. The trucks break down. In the winter, the hydraulics freeze. Tires pop. It's a very stressful business. Every day there's a new expense to that business that you just don't know of. So if anybody said to me, what's your biggest stressor? That would be my biggest stressor. The business is starting to make money now, especially at me buying the other business a couple weeks ago. So that lowers the financial stress, but it's not even about money, obviously. It's about the daily, hey Jeff, this broke, that broke, I need this part, I need that part. That to me is stress. The properties are not stress. I have great property managers, fantastic property managers. I have the best construction crew, the best maintenance crew, the best electricians, the best plumbers right now. I cannot complain about any of that, so there's no stress there. So that's what's funny. Everyone thinks, oh, the more property you buy, the more stress. Not really. It's all scalable. So right now I have 3 job openings. I have another property manager opening. I need to hire another property manager. I need to hire a full-time bookkeeper controller for my businesses in my office. That job is open. Very tough to find that job position. And then I'm also going to be hiring an executive assistant for me to do a lot of the stuff that so I can delegate a lot of my stuff, make this call, make that call, take this call, take that call. That way it will free up a lot of time for me to do TikTok. Okay, because right now it's taken away from my TikTok because I'm so busy. So those are the 3 job openings I legitimately have in the office right now. Besides carpenters, plumbers, electricians, we always have openings for them because I keep growing. But right now in the office, I need a full-time bookkeeper controller. I've been advertising for one. So if anybody knows a bookkeeper controller, it has to be full-time to manage my 4 businesses. Salaries between $65,000 and $85,000 a year. So we're not talking, you know, a small salary. And I'm looking for somebody to come in and be the full-time bookkeeper and controller. And then, like I said, I'm looking for an executive assistant for me and another property manager. I try to move up within. So theoretically, the executive assistant, the property manager may be somebody that moves up in the company. The bookkeeper and controller, that has to be somebody from the outside, somebody with a lot of experience, somebody who's a professional bookkeeper controller. So that's what I'm looking for right now. You know, it would be really nice. So that's what I say. So scaling up relieves stress because now I have Andrew who handles Elmwood Realty. Well, under Andrew, we have Tim and Lisa. Now he'll have another property manager, so it'll be Tim, Lisa, and whoever. We're gonna, as soon as I buy more properties, we'll have to get a 4th property manager. So that's all scalable because the 4 property managers handle all the real estate. Okay, it's not for me. So so that's the story with that. So that's why that's scalable. That business to me is not stressful because it's scalable. Same thing right now. So electrical, right? So we have a master electrician. We just hired 2 apprentices. So the apprentices work for the master electrician because what happens is we have more work, so spreading out. Same thing with the plumber, master plumber, and then we have apprentices. So everything's pretty much like a pyramid, okay? So you have your managers, and you have your middle managers, and so on. So that's working out very well. That's not the stress. Outside influences. So one of the stresses I had was that the 39 unit obviously we have the lawsuit that was filed against the previous owners. The lawyer who's representing that, who, by the way, he did get offended the other day because I did refer to him. I think I might have said bottom feeder. I don't know, on TikTok. So I will apologize for saying bottom feeder. What I will say regarding that is this. These tenants were displaced. It was unfortunate. It wasn't their fault, and it really wasn't the landlord's fault. But this particular attorney found it where he could make some money by representing these tenants somehow in suing the previous owner. As soon as I bought the property 2 days after, December 31st, New Year's Eve, he added me to the lawsuit, my company, so he's also suing me. Why? I don't know. So here's my answer to that, and here's what I will say to that. I use that as a learning experience and a teaching experience for my children. And I tell my kids, if you're going to go into a profession someday, please do something honorable in that profession. Don't sell out your ethics or morals for money. Don't do it. It's not worth it. If you're not making money in that profession, choose another profession. So though I'm not going to call that lawyer names anymore, all I will say is that I think it's unfortunate when somebody's not successful and they have to do something like that, and look for the lottery ticket. And that's what he did with these tenants and with me. That being said, today, this morning, while I was in the hospital, I did get the approval, the official approval from the city of Cranston, who has been great with me. I cannot say enough about the administration, the building department, the building inspectors, the fire department. They have been so helpful in guiding me and helping us get that building back online. Today, we got permission to rent out the whole first floor, 20 units of the first floor. We are moving tenants into the first floor as of today. That's been great. The city council person, Lamas Vargas, if anybody's, she's been fantastic. I'm in touch with her weekly. I like to communicate with everybody to let them know what we're doing on the property. So today was the official day. We got the agreement in place where we can rent. So that's beautiful. The second floor deck, we're already halfway done tearing that down, getting ready to rebuild it. Just waiting for the engineering plans. My engineer and my architect are working diligently to get that done. As soon as we get the plans, we can start rebuilding that. Of course, I want to rebuild that to get the second floor rented. So that's all positive. That's all good things. So that's not stressful for me. The stressfulness is the outside, like that lawsuit, that lawyer aggravation. It's a thorn in my side where I'm trying to make progress, and I don't need that, The other day, I never even mentioned this on TikTok. The other day, I keep rambling, but I want to talk about positive things, try to make me feel good. So when I buy distressed properties, and I know that there are code violations or things that need to be done on the property, I will call the building inspector and the electrical inspector, fire marshal, come in, walk through me. So the other day, I did that in Coventry. So in Coventry, the building inspector came, and so did the fire marshal came. We walked through the building. Actually, I got there late. They walked through with Dwayne and Andrew, walked through the building. It's a 6-unit apartment house, and it does have individual entrances to each apartment, almost like condos, but there's no fire separation because it was built back in the 1930s. So we're going to install a fire alarm system there. So I knew it needed it, but it's really nice to have I love to get the input from the fire marshal. Walk through with me. We make a list of what needs to be done, because I design the systems myself. So if he says, hey, Jeff, put a detector over here, put a pull station here. It depends. Sometimes there is code, but there's also personal preference. If you have a 3-story house, you don't necessarily have to have a pull station on every single floor. If you're going out the bottom door, you can have one on the bottom door. Of the front entrance. One pull station would be enough, because you're going out that door anyway. But some departments will ask for a pull station each floor, and you know what? Why not? Why not? In that case, give them the extra pull stations to make them happy. But anyway, it was a great meeting. Chuck, the building inspector, he used to actually be in Cranston. He's now in Coventry. He was an assistant in Cranston. Now he's the head building inspector in Coventry. It was a great meeting. Walked through, made a list of what we need to do. So now we're pulling the permits. Today I was going to design the fire alarm plan, but I got tied up here, so I can't do it because I need my computer to do it on. Anyway, so that's some of the things that I do. So that happened in Coventry the other day. It was a great walkthrough. Warwick gave me an electrical permit yesterday, so actually 2. So I have 2 buildings in Warwick that we're fixing electrical in, and we can actually call for the inspections. Michael can call for the inspections and get those building's fired up. So a lot of things are happening right now. We have so many projects going on. It's too many. The condo. So I was going to go to the condo today to take some video and some pictures of the condo because they're doing the painting now, really, and I want to see how nice it is. And my parents are nervous that the pink color they picked out is dark, so I got to get pictures and video for them to show them that it's not dark. Of course, my parents were like, well, they're in Florida. We wish we were there. No, I wouldn't want them there. The last thing I want is my parents here while I'm working the condo. They'd be there every day talking to the carpenters, change this, change that. So it's good they're in Florida. In fact, they're probably watching me on TikTok right now. It's good they're watching me on TikTok right now and that they can't say anything. So, but yeah, it's good they're down there. But I am going to take a picture, video. So, all right, Karen in the hospital speaker. Yeah, okay, yeah. You know what's amazing though? When you listen to the people in the hospital speaker, like today I was thinking about it, some of them sound like Siri. They have such clear voices. They have that raspy, controlling voice, stat, Jeff on TikTok, stat. So anyway, yeah, gynecologist. Yeah, Dr. Butler, gynecologist. Yeah, that's true. I might play one on TV, right? That's funny. What happened? So I'll tell you, I know the people that are coming on. Oh, by the way, don't forget now. Oh, two things. So I record all my TikToks on my iPad. I do a screen recording, and I upload them to my YouTube channel, Jeff Never Had Job Security. Well, I realized last weekend that half of them were not going to Jeff Never Had Job Security. They were going to my Jeff Butler YouTube channel that nobody watches, and none of them had views on them, so I was wasting my time. So I transferred them all this weekend to Jeff Never Had Job Security on my YouTube channel. So I do record them. I put them on. So people that show up late, that come on late, I do put them on the YouTube channel. So my Jeff Never Had Job Security. So I'll do that tonight. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, Chicago Med. I love Chicago Med. So my wife loves the whole series, PD, Med, Chicago Fire. When we went to Chicago, we had to go to the fire department and take pictures in front of the fire station. Yeah, Chicago Med is good, But yeah, that's funny. The thing is this, right? Listen, it's pretty quiet here, right? How come all the TV medical shows, people are running around, it's all crazy? I'm in the emergency room right now. It's not like that at all. So that's why TV sometimes is a bunch of bullshit. Because it's quiet, except for a few announcements every once in a while, So there's one funny announcement they make. I'm trying to think of what it's called. When they say it, I'll tell you what it is. And it's kind of funny, the term that they use. But they've been doing it all day. Now again, environmental something to room 5, okay? And what is that? What does somebody have a spill in room 5? They call it environmental something. So it's really kind of funny. Can you please, hello, Jason? He loves you. Oh yeah, absolutely. So Jason, how you doing, Jason? I'm saying hello to Jason. He loves my comedy. Let's see. Most people fall asleep after the stress. Yeah, well, you know what? Most people fall asleep watching my TikTok videos too. So yeah, but I have my stress test tomorrow. So, all right, let's see. Thought the eating around packed. No. Well, that's a good point. I'm down here because they didn't have a room for me tonight, so they left me in this room here. But no, it doesn't seem crazy packed to me. I came in today, the lobby. I was the only one that came in and checked in at 7:30 this morning. I think I came in at a good time, to be honest with you. All right, this thing just filled up again, so now my arm's going to be numb again. The blood pressure thing. So that's the machine over there. Let me see if I can show it to you without. See right there, that little machine. That thing's filling up with air and putting pressure on my arm. And like I said, they come in. So here's what's weird. Every time all right, so they put this IV thing in my, this is an IV thing, right? Where you give somebody an IV. They took blood out of it this morning. So that was that. Every single time they've come in, they've made a new hole. They've punctured a new vein. So how come you do that? Well, we have to. It's protocol. You got the hole already. Why can't you just stick the needle in there and take the blood out? So I don't know. I thought that was a little strange. I never knew that happened. I always thought they used that. That's what they put that there for. But nope. They keep making new holes. So what they said was wrong with me, besides mental, no. They don't know yet, but I know something was abnormal in my EKG. That's why I'm doing the stress test tomorrow morning. On the treadmill, you run on the treadmill, the real stress test. Now, I had one of those stress tests 10 years ago, and I do have a treadmill at home that I use once every 3 or 4 months so my blood sugar fluctuates because of my diabetes. Sometimes I'll check it and I get freaked out because it's like high. So I'll go run on the treadmill for a half hour and that brings it down. It really does. You drink a lot of water, run on the treadmill, and my blood sugar will come down to 200. It's very difficult for me to manage my diabetes. In my particular case, it's not diet, it's genetics. In my family has a very interesting genetic history. My hair comes from my mother. No, I'm sorry. My hair comes from my father. My eyes come from my mother. My bad eyes. So we laugh about where we get different in the family, where we get different problems. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know where my diabetes came from because my parents don't. My parents are 88 years old and completely healthy, out playing golf every day. They don't have diabetes. They don't have any that. So I don't know where that came from. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm the one starting the trend now in the family. So all right. So anyway, so tomorrow I'll know more about what happened. They're keeping me here 24 hours. Yeah, they're keeping me here 24 hours. So tomorrow, I'll know what's going on. I want to make sure that I'm seeing everybody on here, and that I'm not missing. I'm feeling good. I'm actually, like I said. So here's what happened, right? I thought they were going to give me the stress test tonight, but nothing. I'm not doing anything tonight. So you know what? This was perfect for my TikTok because I was going to go live tonight anyway, which I had planned on yesterday. And so I'm in my room, minding my own business. I got my phone, I got my iPad, and I'm still able to do my TikTok. So this worked out good. So here's what's interesting about blood pressure. My blood pressure is always normal. Today it was normal. It's always normal. I do have normal blood pressure. I've never had high blood pressure. I don't take medicine for high blood pressure. So my blood pressure is normal. Now, part of that could be because I lose my temper every once in a while. So it's like a volcano. So some people look at that theory, right? So volcanoes erupt to relieve the pressure. Well, once in a while, I am known, maybe once in a great while, to lose my temper in the office here and there. Few and far between. But I think it's enough to relieve the pressure. So I think that's why my blood pressure is low. Because I relieve the pressure. I let it all out. I say it how it is. I really appreciate, hey, Queensland, Australia, how you doing? Thank you. I really appreciate all the nice comments everybody's making. It's very, very nice. I'm going to be going home tomorrow. They're keeping me here tonight. It's housekeeping? Yeah, because it's environmental police. That's funny. It's environmental. You think they just call it housekeeping, but they call it environmental something. It's so funny. They'll make the announcement. And the funny thing is when they say stat, like what's the emergency? Housekeeping stat. I don't. That's a weird one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to be in the trauma unit. I don't think I've ever been in the trauma unit. I've only been in the hospital a handful of times in my life. I think I've talked about it before. I had my appendix out when I was 18. That was one time I was in the hospital. Well, okay, a couple of hospital stories. So when I was 10 years old, I had an operation on my eyes. So people ask me sometimes on TikTok, you'll notice that one of my eyes right there will move, see? So that's called a lazy eye. That's the worst it is now. When I was 10 years old, my eyes, 9 years old, my eyes were both lazy eyes, and I couldn't control them. I couldn't control my eyes went. Had to have an operation. Back then, the technology is not what it is today, okay? What happened was they literally, not to be gross, but this is what they did, they took my eyes out of my head, they had to tighten the muscles and put them back in again. So that was when I was 10 years old. Didn't correct my vision, just corrected the lazy eyes. So that was when I was 10, I was 18, I had my appendix out. Then about 5 years ago, I had a real problem. I had a blood vessel break behind my nose, not in my nose, but behind my nose. And that was very bad. I had filled up with blood, I was choking on blood, it was coming out. Went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, they put tampons up my nose, that wasn't working. Anyway, ended up having an emergency surgery at Rhode Island Hospital. And what they did there was, because it's not in your nose, they actually had to do, like through my big vein, your main artery going up, just like do with a heart operation. They literally had to go through my leg, and they operated on my nose with all computers-driven, machinery and technology. And so that was a major thing, and that was about 5-6 years ago. Scary, very scary. That was probably the most scared I've been as far as health scares go. And then I got this, but I'm not really nervous about it, except about a month ago, somebody who I grew up with, he literally grew up next door to me, his backyard. He was a principal here at a high school in Warwick, had a heart attack a month ago and died. He was my age, had a heart attack, died very surprising, last minute, sudden, nobody knows, shocking. Very well liked principal, Jerry Habishaw, very well liked principal, respected in the the education community, respect the school community. The kids love him, the parents love him. Great principal at Pilgrim High School in Warwick, and he died suddenly of a heart attack. So that's why when I had the pains this morning, I'm like, you know what? I got to go get checked. I don't want to play around. So that's what happened there. Let's see. What else do we have? I think I'm answering the questions. My dad has seen diabetes. Yeah, diabetes stinks. Really. So you know what's weird about diabetes? I got it when I was like 35, or I was diagnosed when I was 35. Now, I was overweight then. I weighed about 238 pounds at the time. 38 waist, going on to 40. Yeah, you're kind of not taking care of yourself. Now, one of the things I noticed was this. I used to be I was a lot more active when I was younger. When I was disc jockeying, I was moving sound equipment with a sound company. I was moving around. Around 37, 38, so I'd slow down. I wasn't doing as much as that. And I started gaining a little bit of weight. I have a feeling that might have had something to do with it. That being said, now I weigh 180 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight since then. I weigh 180 pounds. I could lose a few more pounds. And I am on medication, and I do try to manage it, But I'm down to a 32 waist. So, which is really nice, Do you disco? No, I could try. I think I used to disco. Anyway, I'm getting discharged tomorrow, I hope. I hope everything checks out too, Like I said, the rooms are upstairs and they're inconveniently located down hallways. This is perfect. I'm literally right near the door. Look, I'm going to show you. This is funny. See that exit sign up there? That exit sign is actually the lobby of the hospital. That's why I stuck my head out there and grabbed my clothes from Carissa when she dropped them off earlier. I couldn't be any more conveniently located. So I'm glad I'm in this room, So, let's see. Yeah, no, I'm not getting a penthouse, that's for sure. I seem a little bit wound tight. Once in a while, I am a little bit wound tight. I'm feeling really good today. Today was like a vacation day, I sat here on my phones, my iPads, made some calls. Everyone did work hard. Everyone got everything done today. It seems like more got done when I wasn't around. So that was like the summer. So I don't know if everyone remembers, back in June and July, I was a little stressed out as well, a little overwhelmed. And I said, you know what? Plus, I was micromanaging. I said, I got to step back. Let my people do their job. And I did. And I stayed at home, worked from home, did a lot of work at home. I went out and did a lot of remote stuff at the properties. I didn't go into the office. And that was a wonderful thing. So I think I'm going to start doing that again. Lately, I've been in the office because we've been so busy buying properties in the snap. And of course, we need to hire more people. We get more people in, that's less work for me. So that's really what's going to help me out, Yeah, so they have me on, that's what's attached to this me. I got a cardiac monitor going on here. I got all wires attached to me. So that's why, when I go to the bathroom, I have to unplug the harness, So they're monitoring me there too. Let's see. All right. Any questions? Make money so funny. Why? What did I say that was funny? Well, that's true. So at 57 too, I have to realize, look, I am active. I'm an active. You guys see it. You saw it on TikTok. I'm active with my kids. I do a lot of stuff. So because I'm so active, I have to remember I am still 57, and somebody's having a good time over there. So I am active, and I have to keep that in mind, though, that I am still 57, and you got to keep an eye on different things. So, but I'm still going to stay active. I'm still going to do what I do. I love skiing. I love, running around. I love playing. I love going to the music parks. I love traveling. So I'm going to still stay active, that's for sure. The other thing is this, lately, I've been a little more active too, going around to different properties, because I'm not just sitting behind the desk all day. I'm getting up, I'm getting in the car, I'm going to the properties, I'm walking around, looking at different things. So I'm a lot more active that way as well too, which is nice. I'm actually at a hospital. They're asking me at a doctor's office. I'm actually in a hospital, Kent County Hospital in Rhode Island, in the emergency room. But they gave me a room. I'll show you again. That's my privacy door. That's a soundproof door. You don't hear anything. Anyway, so let's see. What else do we have? I've been to Kent around Landmark. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I've never been to Landmark. I know where Landmark is, though, up in Woonsocket, Landmark Medical Center. But, yeah, Kent is usually my hospital of choice, even though that emergency surgery I had with the nose, the vein, blood vessel, that was at Rhode Island Hospital. I remember, well, this is all I remember. I remember, of course, my kids were born in this hospital too, upstairs. Both kids were born in this hospital that I'm in right now, and Carissa was born in this hospital, so the hospital has a lot of memories in it. But anyway, Rhode Island Hospital, the one thing I remember is them wheeling me into the operating room, and all I saw was computer monitors all the way around the room, computer monitors. And then I went to sleep, because obviously they gave me my IV, and that was it. I was all done. They gave me enough just to put me to sleep. So they could have just had me watch my TikTok videos. Yeah, I'm calling the nurse to tell them I'm streaming live. So the funny thing is, yeah, that would be funny. All of a sudden I get a report, hey, you're streaming live from the hospital. But I think I'm allowed to do that. I don't know if I'm allowed to sneak food in like I did, but I think I can stream live. The best thing here is this. They never had Wi-Fi here. So because they didn't have Wi-Fi, your phones didn't work here. You came to the I wouldn't come to the hospital because there was no phone service. So they just put the Wi-Fi in a couple of years ago. It was the best thing they ever did, because now I have Wi-Fi. I can make phone calls over Wi-Fi. But that was torture. That was torture. Oh, Jeff. That's funny. Well, I don't know, Mickey. If you're a tenant there, then maybe I'd move the dumpster. But I don't know if you're an actual tenant there, so I don't think I need to move the dumpster. I think you just like to aggravate me. So anyway, Mickey's talking about the 39 unit. I don't know if Mickey's an actual tenant that's actually living there, or one of the tenants that was living there. But anyway, that's so get skipped. Let's talk about that. So the lawyer, okay, thinks he got the pot of gold, the lottery ticket for the tenants. By the way, so when I talked about this on TikTok the other day, it all got back to the lawyer. So some of the tenants are on here watching my TikToks. They're reporting it back to the lawyer, which is fine. I appreciate the followers and the interest. So the issue, though, is that with the lawyer causing the problems that he's causing for me now, it's making me difficult to want to accept those tenants back in the building, which I don't have to, because they were all month-to-month tenants. I actually terminated their tenancy when I bought the building. I sent them all letters. So they're making it difficult. The tenants are making it difficult for themselves, okay, for me to want them to come back. And of course, the lawyer really made it difficult. We'll have to see how that plays out, but they don't realize that, it's one of those short-term things. Oh yeah, I'll take it. I'm
just gonna change the track.
Sure, go ahead. You can do that. All these distractions. Anyway. Hello. I'll talk to him live. What? Yeah, I can't go to the casino tonight. You know I can't go to the casino tonight. Oh, well, I'm talking. I'm on TikTok right now, live, but I'm at Kent County Hospital. No. I had chest pain, so I came in this morning. Now they kept me here till tomorrow. So yeah. So. Well, listen, let me call you. I'll call you back when I finish my TikTok live. I'll call you back in about an hour. All right, thanks. Bye. All right, bye. All right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, we killed two birds with one stone. I talked to my brother, and they changed the trash at the same time. So that's my brother John. That's Brian and Andrew's father, actually, who just called me up. He didn't know I was here because he teaches all day. He's an administrator. He's an administrator in a high school himself. So, but anyway, so he wanted to go to the casino tonight, which. You know what? I would have gone in a heartbeat because I like going to the casino. See, makes money. You see, I like going to the casino. The stress test is tomorrow morning. They didn't tell me what time. I assume it's early, but it's tomorrow morning. So that's the story with that. So where was I? What was I talking about before all that happened? A lot of stuff that came up, and I was telling a story. I was telling a story about. I forget what I was telling a story about. Oh. So I was talking about the tenants. So the problem is this, okay? Let's talk from a realistic business point of view. These tenants that were living in that building were paying far under under market rent. They were $800 a month. Market rent in that market in that area is $1,250, $1,300 a month. Not saying I'm going to charge that. Not saying that at all. So don't take that to the bank, okay? Just don't start sending me hate mail. But I'm telling you what the market rent is. They were paying far below market rent. Now this disaster happens. It was unfortunate. Somehow 19 of the 38 tenants, 39 tenants were able to get the same lawyer. Somehow. whether he happened to stop by when it was on the news and passed his cards out, or whether one tenant called, a bunch of them said, hey, I got a lawyer. I don't know. I don't care. That being said, they now jumped on this bandwagon. They have a lawsuit. Whether it's valid or not, that's up to the judge to decide later on. But here's the problem. These tenants, being short-sighted with me anyway, brought me into the lawsuit, which I had nothing to do. I bought the property after. I'm fixing the property. I'm making the property better. So now, why would I do them a favor? They now brought me into the lawsuit. They're holding me up on fixing the building. They're holding me up on renting the second floor. The guy went and got a restraining order yesterday, the lawyer. So now I'm saying to myself, all right, fine. You're gonna get rich on that lawsuit. I am. How much are you gonna get? $2,000? You get a couple $1,000 from that lawsuit, and you tortured me. The lawyer's gonna make money, and do you think the lawyer's gonna care in 60 days when I raise your rent to market rent? Not saying that I'm gonna do that, but do you see the short-sighted people out there? They were paying only $800. They are trying to sue me, trying to hurt me, trying to hurt the previous owner, and all because the lawyer needs to make some money, because obviously practice might not be good right now. So these tenants who are on TikTok, who are watching me now, who are aggravating me, busting my balls, you can do that all you want. But when you come back in, your month-to-month tenants, I can then raise your rent to market rent, which I probably will if I even accept you back in, because right now I've terminated your tenancy. I don't have to. I will be black and white on that. But that's the realistic, that's the real world. The real world is, if you're going to screw me over, then that's the consequence after that. I can raise rent. That's the real world. We live in a real world right now. So these people that think they got the lottery ticket with this guy, with this lawyer, they think they hit the lottery. Yeah, short-term thinking, bad way of thinking. Think long-term. Think, I really like where I'm living. I don't want to be part of this. I want to move back in. Make the right decision. So that's what I think. I think they, as far as I was intended to go, tell the lawyer to screw and just call my office up, move back in, and call it a day. That's what I think you should do. But, you know, and be at the right rent. But if you're going to pursue this, then that's the consequences. And you know what? And there's nothing that can stop me from doing that. And that's just the way it is. So that's how I will approach this. I think you see, I buy properties. I'm very fair with all the tenants. But you get these few tenants at that property that for some reason, look, you've got a whole lifetime ahead of you. You're not going to be, what do you think? You're getting $100,000, $200,000? No, the lawyer's getting the money because he's representing a bunch of people. So he might get some money from the insurance company because it is a frivolous lawsuit. So anybody knows anything about frivolous lawsuits, the insurance company's going to settle and make it go away. Okay, so he's going to get something, and then you know, he'll go for that little lump sum of money, and then he'll go look for another group of people that he can sign up and, you know, go after. But I'm not calling him any names. I made a mistake the other day on TikTok. I think I might have called him a name, and I apologize. I take it back. So I'm publicly apologizing. That being said, I'm teaching my kids to never go, if you go into that profession, never be that type of lawyer. Be somebody that you can, like me, I can sleep at night knowing that my intent is to do a good job for good people every day. My staff's intent is to do a good job. I want my kids to learn that. You know, my wife, she's a divorce attorney, okay? She represents somebody in a divorce, a family court. She represents child support issues. She's helping somebody. So, you know, she can sleep at night, you know what I'm saying? And she has a conscience. You know, she sees where one of her clients might be wronged by the other side. She has a conscience. She feels bad about it. She'll fight for that person. But to go and take advantage of somebody who may be doing better than somebody, or kick somebody while they're down. Like right now, I'm down. I got an empty building. That guy to me is kicking me while I'm down. I have an empty building that I need to fix. I need to get rented so I can pay my mortgage. He's a stranger to me. So he chose a stranger, me, to attack, to try to make a few dollars for himself. Well, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I will speak out against that. Okay, so you know what? And the people that are watching me tonight, you can let him know that. Okay, the people, the tenants, let him know that. I have no problem with that. You already let him know that I called him a name the other day, which, you know, I apologize for calling him the name. I can think it. So that's the story with that. Yeah, report to the delivery room. That would be, hey, so a funny story about the delivery room. And you guys are great. My wife, so we have 2 children, Benjamin and Emily. You're allowed to take a camera and take still pictures. So when Emily was born, I took it was a still camera, but it does videos too. So I shot a video, and I was shocked myself, okay? So I shot this video, and she had a C-section, and literally I got the video of, and I'll never show it, it's personal, but I got the video of them lifting Emily right out of Chris's, stomach, and the umbilical cord coming out. It was really impressive. It's really good. And them cutting the umbilical cord, and they asked me to cut it. I was like, yeah, that's all right. I'm fine where I am. I was behind the curtain. I'm fine there. But anyway, you're not supposed to do the video, but I do have that video. It'll be fun for Emily to watch. Someday she's seen it a couple times, but it's a little, you gotta. Emily doesn't mind it because she talks about being a pediatrician someday. So in a way, it's kind of cool that she has the video of her being born because she talks about being a pediatrician. So anyway, so that's the story with that. Yeah, I'm at the hospital. Somebody just asked me. I'm at the hospital. Let's see. Do I know Ben? Hey, do you know Ben? Ben who? Do I know Ben? Ben who? I know Ben, my father. I know Ben, my son. Ben who? Yeah, I am the rule breaker. I do bend the rules once in a while. So that was a rule that I broke, like taking the video camera on the roller coaster rule, stuff like that, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. I am definitely okay. Well, the plow block. All right, if the plow blocked the bins, so we'll say that 5 times fast. All right, that must be a 10. So if one of our plows blocked the bins, block the bins, call the office, tell them that, because we do go out and we do clean up. I mean, most of the snow's gone right now because of the rain. But call the office and let them know that so we can make a note of that to let the plows don't block the bins, because that's true. How do you throw your garbage away? So that makes sense. Sometimes, of course, that storm was crazy anyway. Where do you put the snow? But we can go back after and clean it up. So, yeah, stuff like that, you got to let us know. And if we made a mistake, we're only trying to get better. We're only trying to get better. And we'll make a note of it, and that's what we'll do, So, the new Butler Waste building's coming along pretty well. Tomorrow, we just got a permit for the roof. The roofers are supposed to start the roof tomorrow. I thought they were doing it the other day, but I think the weather. So we're putting a new roof on the building. The building's cleaned out. That's as far as we've gotten with it. In this particular case, before I do anything with it, I wanted to get it cleaned out. It was full of crap. Get it cleaned out, empty shell, put the new roof on it. Now I can figure out what I want to do. Then I can go pull the permits. I think we pulled the electrical permit because it needs new electrical service in there. It's so old. I mean, it's just so old. The electric, the panel, everything's so old. So I think they pulled the permit to do that, and the lighting. It needs lighting. There's no lighting on the outside. So we need to. So I think we got that the other day for that. So that's what we're going to start with: outside perimeter lighting, get the place lit up. But the outside of the building's falling apart. It needs painting. The siding, part of the building with the offices, that's made out. It's wood and it's all rotted. There's that Texture 111 crap. It's all rotted. That needs to be replaced. So that's something we'll have to do in the spring. Let's see. Is the building inspector your? Let's see, nurse tonight. So it depends what city. No, actually, listen, all good nurses. And right now, I got to say, I feel pretty good in all the cities right now with the building inspectors. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm cautiously optimistic in one city, but I think things are pretty good. I will tell you, I'm really happy. I really am. I'm sincere here. I been having issues with Warwick for about a year now. And last week, I found out that the building department of Warwick follows me on TikTok. In fact, I think they are the ones who got me over the 200,000 when they all logged into TikTok and they started following me. And they started following me on TikTok. And this week they issued me like 3 permits. So you know what? I'm thinking that we're on a positive track right there. So I want to try to keep it as positive as possible. But I'm really glad they're following me now, which is really cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate that they follow me on TikTok. And of course, when things are good, I'm going to say things are good. So I say it how it is. I'm happy that they issued me those electrical permits so we can get some of that electrical done. And I'm going to keep doing and they also issued me a building permit for to remodel a kitchen, which I will take some video on that. That was another farmhouse. So I talked about that yesterday. So I have a farmhouse. It's an old farmhouse in Warwick. It's a historic farmhouse, a big farmhouse. Has a master suite upstairs, and it just needs. It doesn't need a complete remodel. The kitchen needs a remodel. The rest of the house just needs tender loving care. Railings are broken. There's holes in the wall. The moldings need to be patched and fixed and painted. So it just needs a refresh. That house needs a real good refresh, and that house will be ready to be put back on the market. Who is my locksmith? So, as far as changing locks go, we do a lot of our locks ourselves. On the commercial properties, we'll call a couple different ones. We use City Lock in, I guess it's Providence. City Lock is one that we've used for years and years and years. They've been pretty good for the commercial properties because you have the push bars, you have different types of locks, mechanisms. So we'll use them for our commercial stuff. But all residential stuff, we do it ourselves. We actually have our own key machine that I bought at an auction. I've shown that on TikTok. We bought one of those key making machines that works flawlessly. I wish I had two of them. I should have bought two. It was only $40 at the auction. The machine had to be $1,000 machine. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway. Oh, really? The mandate's till March 4th? Oh, great. The mask mandate in Rhode Island. Great. Oh, boy. So, master keyed. So, the only doors that we have master keyed are our common doors at all our properties. So, if you go to any of our properties, the door to get into the hallway is the same key. Other than that, we don't use master keys. I don't trust master keys with all the different apartments. So, no, the common hallways is the only master key we have to get into the common hallways, into the laundry rooms. And that's it. All right. In Ohio. And I'm in Rhode Island. Ohio, how you doing? Yeah, we're in Rhode Island. I'm in Warwick, Rhode Island right now. Beautiful dress. Yeah, so I made this myself. Handmade it myself. I was on that sewing machine for 2 days. I'm wearing my Johnny, which I found out tonight why it's called the Johnny on TikTok. Never knew why it was called the Johnny. Okay. And then I found out why a bathroom was called the John, because a John crapper. Never knew that. Hey, my buddy from Warwick. Let's see. What else did I miss? Am I okay? I'm okay. Well, it depends on what part of me you're asking about. Yes, the Rhode Island Drive Shaft building. People ask about that's the building, the Rhode Island Drive Shaft. That was Rhode Island Drive Shaft for over 40 years. I didn't know that. It's interesting, some of the historic places that I buy that have a history. So the building at 830 Oakland Beach Avenue, the one that we just got the electrical and the building permit for, that property, I bought that 3 years ago. I bought it from the Diocese of Providence, the Catholic Diocese. They owned the building. Nobody knew they owned the building. The reason that nobody knew they owned the building is because the diocese used to lease the building to the city of Warwick for $1 a year. The city of Warwick then in turn used it for a function hall, a senior center, the Jonah Center, which is a nonprofit center to help people out. It was used for all good purposes. And then I guess at some point, whatever happened, Warwick decided to give the building back to the diocese, and the diocese put it on the market to sell it. When they put it on the market to sell it, they were asking a lot of money for it, and here's the funny part. I'm not Natasha. So what happened was they put it on the market and they couldn't sell it. They couldn't sell it because attached to the purchase and sales agreement was a list of things that you couldn't do in the building because it was the Diocese of Providence. So basically the 10 Commandments was attached to the deed. So if you bought the building, you could not break any of the 10 Commandments. That was part of you buying the building. So it wouldn't sell. So doesn't hurt to ask, right? So I went to the real estate agent. I said, look, if they take the 10 Commandments off of there, I'll make an offer on the building. And I did, and I ended up buying it. So I got that building, the Jonah Center. So it has a commercial kitchen in it, nice commercial kitchen. It's a big banquet hall, function hall, has some offices, because it's 4,400 square feet. So now we got the permit to fix a couple columns in the basement need to be replaced. The electrical needs to be repaired. And then we're gonna put it back together again, and we're gonna use it. Try to use it in the purpose. I'm trying to do a TikTok live over here. I should have let them know. So the building, we're going to use it for the function that it was used for, probably non-profit. I will do some more TikToks on that. We will talk more about that in the future. But anyway, so I'm happy about that building. So there's some history in that building. That building was, when it was built in the turn of the century, 1900, it was built as a theater. It was actually a theater where they had theatrical plays. And
Natasha, Pharmacy, 3295.
Listen, Natasha doesn't want to talk to you right now. So it was built as a theater back in the turn of the century. Next to that building, I've shown you that 6-unit apartment house that I bought. That used to be a Dodgem car or a bumper car place in the 50s, and they turned it into 6 apartments. So I own those 2 pieces of property right now. So talk about history. Things have interesting histories behind them. And Rhode Island Drive Shaft was there for 40 years. I bought Rollaway Disposal. They were in business for 40 years. So I like to buy these older businesses that, again, Rhode Island Drive Shaft, I'm not in the drive shaft business. They retired, which I found out. One of the two brothers, I think, one actually went to work for part-time for another drive shaft company. The other one retired. They were in the business for 40 years. But anyway, so I got that building there, and all I'm using that building for is to repair my trucks. I'll repair my trucks, and I'm going to have an office there, use it as an office, but that's it. I'm not storing my dumpsters, trucks, anything like that there. I'm just using it to repair my trucks. You need a garage to pull them in, that has high enough garage doors that you can put the trucks in and repair them. And I will tell you, they need repair every single day. It's unbelievable. If anybody said to me 10 years ago, you own garbage trucks, you want to buy a building to fix your garbage trucks, no, I would never thought of this. I would never thought about that. All right, let's see what else. So I talked about this the other day, the lighting. I want to talk about the lighting because I think somebody just asked about the lighting. The lighting at the 39-unit apartment house. So when I bought that apartment house, the lighting outside, it was pitch black. It was dark. So just to get security, I had my lighting emergency. I put lighting on it just to light it up, so it looks nice. It's bright. I won't say it looks nice. It's bright. I showed it on TikTok the other day. I came up with a really nice lighting scheme that we're going to do there. Because I have the walkway with the overhang from the roof, I'm going to do all recessed lighting all the way around the perimeter of the building on the top and on the bottom underneath the deck. That's going to look beautiful because it's going to give you that nice downlight. So it's not going to be bright for everybody. It's going to be nice downlight, and it's going to look really nice. So I'm excited about getting onto that project. Obviously, I can do the upstairs now because of the overhang, but I can't do the downstairs because we're rebuilding the deck. But that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's see. Hello, Adam. How you doing? Let's see. Yeah, everyone likes my dress. Nice gown. So the story is I can't put my shirt on because I have all wires attached to me underneath. I'm all wired up. I got wires there. I got wires coming to this arm. I got wires coming out of this arm. So I can't put my shirt on. I was going to put my shirt on so I'd be a little more presentable for TikTok, but I also didn't want to miss my TikTok. It was actually worked out good. I'm here. Nobody's bothering me. It actually worked out good that I could do my TikTok tonight. So anyway. Yeah, an alien. Yeah, I know it. Men in Black, right? Or Men in whatever this is, purple, blue. Yeah, no, I don't mind answering the questions. Like I said, I'm stuck here anyway. They're really not doing anything tonight. Every once in a while they come in, like I said, they came to empty the garbage. They'll come in to take some blood or poke another hole in me. So I don't mind. And at the same time, I'm answering a lot of questions that came up over the last few days anyway. But yeah, I talked about, so if you're going to invest in property, so here's another one I want to talk about. This happened to me. This is weird, okay? In all the times I've been buying property, I bought a house about 3 months ago in West Warwick. When I bought it, it was being used as a 3-family, but it was built as a 4-family. It was actually built as a 4-family house. There's no doubt about that. But what happened was when they enacted all the new fire alarm laws, fire alarm codes, the owner decided not to put the fire alarm in, so he downsized or downgraded the property to a 3-family. He blocked off the 4th unit. He removed the kitchen and made it just an empty space. The fire alarms at that time, I know it was mandatory. You had to put them in, as the early 2000s, had to put them in because of the station fire in West Warwick. The fire alarm companies were taking advantage of landlords, and they were charging 3 times the amount, 4 times the amount to put the fire alarms in. Plus, they could because it was supply and demand. They were busy, right? Once they all got caught up, now it's competition. Anyway, so this house here was a 4-unit. They used it as a 3-unit. I bought it as a 3-unit. First thing I did is I called the fire marshal in West Warwick. I called the building inspector, Bob Azarone. Excellent building inspector, really nice guy. Same thing though. They see with me, especially in West Warwick, because I have so many properties in West Warwick. Right now I own 68 pieces of property. In West Warwick, I think probably 25 are in West Warwick now out of the 68. But they see when I buy a piece of property, I call them up, come on over here, let's go through it, tell me what I need. Emergency lighting, fire alarm, hardwired smoke, COs, carbon monoxide detectors, and I have them walk through. We make the list, and an electrical inspector will come, Joe in Westwell, great electrical inspector. They'll come out and they walk through the properties with me, and we make a list of what we need to do. We do it. We get it done. We don't waste any time. And do we make mistakes? Yeah, but at least they know our intent is to do the right thing. And if we make a mistake, hey Jeff, correct it, and we will. It happened last week when we had the fire alarm inspection. Not that we made a mistake, but one of the tenants tampered with the fire alarm, so we had to postpone the inspection. Plus, our master electrician was on another job in Pawtucket doing an emergency, so we had to reschedule. But I'd much rather do it that way. So that piece of property is now a 4-unit. It was a 3-unit, now it's a 4-unit. But my point is this: say it cost $10,000 to put the fire alarm in, which roughly it probably did. Between my labor and the materials, it cost $10,000. But the apartment is $1,200 a month. So in 8 months, 9 months, I got the money back for the fire alarm, and it's a 4-unit building. So that happened on another building I bought in West Warwick 3 weeks ago. Same thing, previous owner. I've talked about it. It's actually my friend who owned the building, Dan. He had a 4-unit. He could not afford to put the fire alarm in at the time, back in the early 2000s when he bought it. So he downsized it to a 3-unit. That particular building right now, we are in the process of designing the fire alarm, and we're going to make that back into a 4-unit. One of the buildings I closed on yesterday was same thing. It's a 4-unit building. The city has it listed in zoning as a 4-unit. It's a 4-unit, but they're only using it as a 3-unit. One of the units is empty, and I realized when I walked through why there's no fire alarm. So I'm going to put a fire alarm in it, and it will go back to being a 4-unit building. So that's where these property owners, investors really. When I say optimize, look, make it safe, put the fire alarm in, and rent out the 4th unit. So I'm really surprised that people didn't do that. They get the money back in less than a year, Let's see, what else do we have here? I'm on my iPhone, so I can't see the little tiny words on the iPhone, so that's why I have to use my iPad. Repaint the parking lot. Which parking lot are you talking about? Which parking lot are you talking about? Because I do. So parking lots to me are very important. I need to have parking for all my buildings. And if it's a crappy parking lot, I'll put a new parking lot in and I'll restripe it. So I'd like to know, which parking lot are you asking about? And I will be glad to answer that question. Do you sign a 30-day contract or a 1-year lease? So when I buy a piece of property and the tenants are already there, I do a 30-day, a month-to-month lease. It's called month-to-month. I leave them on month-to-month till I get to know them. Do they pay their rent on time? Are they a good tenant? If they are, I then put them in a 1-year lease, but not right away. I wait a couple of months. But any new tenants all sign a 1-year lease. I do not do any less than a 1-year lease. They sign a 1-year lease. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. One is I want to know the tenant's going to be there, not moving out, so I can make plans. The tenant is safe to know that their rent's not going to go up for a year. And 3, my mortgage companies, some of them require that. They want to know that their mortgage is going to be paid, and they feel if tenants have a 1-year lease, chances are the mortgage will be paid. Let's see. Oh, who's your favorite out of Ben's friends? Well, it has to be Richard. It has to be Richard. I think he's my favorite. Who are you? Which friend are you? I wonder which friend you are. Oh, Pilot Richard. Oh. Anyway. So yeah, so Pilot Richard, guess what Pilot Richard wants to do in a couple of years? He wants to be an airline pilot for Southwest Airlines, my favorite airlines. So that's funny. He's on here on, am I a good son? Well, it all depends who you ask and when you ask. So, I consider myself a good son, but my parents right now probably don't think I do, because every time we talk, I'm very impatient with them. I'm redesigning, I'm rebuilding the condo for them, and every day they send me questions and ask me questions about it. And, I kind of tell them, look, let me finish it and let me get it done. So they might not think I'm a good son, but I would say I'm a good son. I think I'm a good son. Let me put it this way. I think I'm above average when it comes to that. I do a lot for my parents, take care of my parents. So, yeah, I can say I'm a good son. Absolutely. And you know what? It's important that I teach my kids what I do. Okay. Now, they see me lose my temper with my parents and be short with my parents. Yeah, they see that. But they also see everything I do for my parents and, how we get along. And we do spend a lot of time together. My parents are in the winter, they're down in Florida, but in the summer, they're up here. So, all right, let's see. What else do we got? I am dressed for fall. Yes, I am. I wonder who picks out I wonder who picks out the fashion designer at the hospital, right? Do you think they have a fashion designer? That's funny. Petition to unmute Adam. Who's Adam and why is he muted? Ben Butler 2406. Adam is unmute. All right. I don't know. Hey, Make Money. Make Money is a moderator on my channel. So Make Money, can you find Adam? I guess he's muted for some reason. Adam is one of my son's friends, and he's muted for some reason. Free Adam. Okay. That's what everyone's saying. Free Adam. Well, I don't know who muted Adam. I never muted Adam. How do you unmute Adam? I would do it if I knew how to do it. I have no idea how to unmute Adam. Hey, dude, hope everything goes well. Just dropped to share some love. Thank you. So, by the way, low battery. Oh, I have a low battery. Oh, never mind. It's my iPad. If the battery dies on my iPad, who cares? I'm on my iPhone. But it is plugged in. Oh, you know what? I'm stretched out over the hospital here, and the plug came out of the wall. So anyway, yeah, I don't know why Adam would be muted. That might be something I'm going to have to look into after the fact. I feel bad about Adam being muted. Well, I do stop working. Yeah, I need to get my rest, Bill. You're right. So I'll get my rest tonight because when I'm done here, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to lay here till they give my stress test tomorrow. So, obviously, I have not much to do. But it's funny. So I was talking about it today. When I buy property, that's not stress. It's fun because my wife accuses me of buying too many property. That stresses me out. But the property isn't what stresses me out. I talked about that earlier. It's the other stuff that stresses me out. I enjoy buying property. It was exciting yesterday when I found that garage. That garage. That was a beautiful garage, wasn't it? But to me, that's exciting because I know the potential. We clean it up. We power wash that concrete, the cinder block. Clean that garage out. That's a perfect garage. Whether I use it, whether I rent it out, whether the tenants use it. So I get excited about that. So that's the fun stuff. Buying the property. Like yesterday, we were walking through the properties. I went through the first 3 with Tim because that's his properties to manage. Met the tenants, and we walked through. We look at the laundry rooms. We make a list of what we're going to do to repair. Oh, let me talk about that too. So a lot of times when you buy properties that were owned by old-fashioned landlords, owned by families for a long time, a lot of the properties were maintained, but maybe not correctly. You find tape on leaks in the basement, or you'll find pipes that were not capped correctly. You'll find electrical that's just not done correctly. There's a lot of do-it-yourself stuff. And also, you go into the tenants' apartments. Now, one of the reasons why the tenants' apartment, the rent is low, is you go into the apartment, and the apartments are outdated. They're 50 years old, and there's leaks underneath the sink and stuff like that. So the landlord figures, I won't raise the rent, and they won't complain about the problems. I understand that because the properties are paid for, so it's okay. For me, I want everything to be long-term, fixed long-term. You go in it, you fix it right once and for all. So what I do is this, and I've done this every time I buy a portfolio of properties. The first thing the tenants want to do is start giving you a list of everything that's wrong. And that's okay. But what I tell them is this. Do me a favor. Make your list in writing. The office is going to be calling you anyway to set you up on the portfolio. Send it in. Because what happens is now we get the whole list. We compile it, electrical, plumbing, and I send a team in there all at once. And let's just fix everything on this list. Let's get it to where our standards or where the tenants are happy where everything's fixed. So it takes a few weeks. It's not going to happen overnight, but it does get done. And I find that to be the best way of correcting any of the problems in the apartments. Get the list from the tenants, fix everything. Again, that's the time I'm getting to know the tenants anyway. I'm starting to know whether they're good tenants, whether they pay their rent, whether they're troublemakers, if they're helpful. And like I said, yesterday was a pleasant surprise when I walked around those properties. I was very happy meeting those tenants. And now we're going to make a list of everything that needs to be done and corrected. One of the buildings that we went into, one of the tenants on the first floor, she insists, and she may be right, she insists that she's paying for some of the electricity in the rest of the building. Well, being on the first floor, that's an easy fix because we have access to the basement. The panels are in the basement. So I have my electrician already scheduled to go over there. And he'll just go over there and he'll just check every circuit in her apartment to make sure it goes to her panel. That's a one-day fix. Why not pay the few $100, just get it done? So, and you know what? And that gives her peace of mind. While I was there, she showed me a few problems in her apartment, which I would never allow, I mean, at some point when I go in, I will take pictures of some of the stuff. Her kitchen sink, she hasn't used it in 3 months because underneath it rotted out. Well, it should have been fixed. So my plumber's going to go there. But in this case, I'm ripping the whole cabinet out, the whole sink. It's disgusting, and just putting a whole brand new one in. Because it's not worth fixing it. It's not even worth the time of trying to fix it. I'll just pull the whole thing out, put a brand new in, and call it a day. So, so that's what I do when I buy properties. So I suggest that to other people. When you buy a piece of property, go through. Don't get upset if the tenants are giving you a list of things wrong. Chances are that the landlord, whoever, knew he was selling the property and didn't fix the stuff. I had that happen a couple of years ago. I bought properties in Pawtucket. Well, the sale took 90 days to go through. During that 90 days, as things broke in the building, that landlord said, let the new owner do it. And he did. And we bought it, and there was a list of things that we had to do. But I'm okay with that, because you know why? I know when I bought it, it was all done right. It's all new. And it's true. We're going back to fix things, but it's other things, not the stuff that we did. All right. Hello, Father, Ben Butler. Hello, So my son calls me Father. Hello, Father. I don't think he's ever called me Father before. So Benjamin and I went to see the movie Scream last Saturday at Showcase Cinema. The blood and guts slashing thriller Scream 5, I think it was Scream 5. That was meant for Jeff. Okay. Hey, make money. Did we figure out that Adam thing or whatever they were talking? That was meant for Jeff. Okay. Hey, make money. Did we figure out that Adam thing or whatever they were talking about? Will you give her money if she had been paying? Give her money for what? For the sink? Oh, no, if she was paying the electricity. So what happens in that case is this. If she was paying for the electricity, if she was, I got to see where she was paying for it, and I would go to the other tenant and say, you've been underpaying, and try to get some and do it that way. I think that's fair. Being the new owner, at least I go in there and I correct the problem and show her, hey, look, we corrected the problem moving forward. It all depends on what she was paying for, too. You know what I'm saying? If she was paying for outside spotlights that were on 24 hours a day burning, and it was costing her $50 a month, yeah, I might throw a couple of dollars to say, hey, look, we found the problem moving forward. Here's what the story is. But I don't need to, at least I'm going in, I'm correcting the problem. And believe me, this happens a lot. This is not something, because what happens is these old houses that would divide, a lot of these old 3-4 family houses were one family houses at one time, and they divide them up, and they screw up dividing them up, and they miss a few circuits. That's really what happens, you know. Let's see. No, I don't have COVID. Somebody's asked if I have COVID. They said vivid, but I know they meant COVID. No, I don't have COVID, though they did give me a COVID test a couple hours ago. They never came back with the results, so, you know. No, I had chest pains this morning, so I came in here to... I came in to have me tested for the chest pains. I thought I was going to leave around 1 o'clock, and they said, nope, keep me for 24 hours. I invested in 70 apartments in the time and money to upgrade. I could have built a new complex. You know, I don't necessarily agree with that, but it all depends on what you did for the upgrading, because obviously if the outside shell, the roof, the bones of the building are good, then all you're doing is remodeling the apartments. Again, I don't know what the extent of the renovations you did were. But I know for me, that being said, a good example is the 50-unit apartments that I'm building, the nursing home that I'm converting. That was a nursing home. We're completely converting that to 50 apartments. So other than the roof and the walls, do you need me? Am I unhooked again?
I'm going to take your blood pressure again.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it stopped. It was working. It stopped.
Let's switch. Sorry. Let's switch.
You want to switch arms?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
You can keep talking.
All right. I can keep talking.
Okay.
Talking to my friends. So anyway.
Yeah, it's going to squeeze.
Yeah, that's fine. It was squeezing earlier and it stopped. It was working a few. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Keep it nice and relaxed.
All right.
When it's finished, then you can move.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, so the extent of the renovations. So I'm rebuilding that whole building, but it has a brand new roof. It has good size, good walls. So we're going to be moving some walls inside and renovating it. So I think that one, of course, you tore it down and built a brand new building. It would cost more because you're not building the shell, we're not building the roof, we're not building the foundation. So that's a tough one. It all depends on the extent of the renovations. The 39 unit building that I just bought, those apartments are all rentable. They were rented up until I think September when they moved out. They were all rentable. For me though, they're outdated, so I want to go in there and update them. So for me, I'll do one at a time and update it, and then go from there. So that's the story with that. No, that's okay. Just have to look at my questions here. Oh yeah, somebody's asking me. I'm in the hospital, just getting my. I had some chest pains this morning, so I'm getting checked. Everything seems to be okay. Everything. Just bought your third family. That's great. I got to tell you something. So that's like my friend just inherited a 2-family house last week, and I told a couple weeks ago. I told him, look, keep it and rent it, and add to it, get another one. His kids are young. It'd be great for the kids in the future. Great for his retirement. Him and his wife. It's like keep it and enjoy it, and And by the way, anybody that has to leave, I am putting this on my YouTube channel later on, so I'll record it and put it on my YouTube channel just so you know. The 39 unit is going to be renovated. So here's the extent of the renovations with that. We're doing the new deck on the outside of the units. Is it working?
Hold on, I switch
Want to go back to my arm again? Maybe I have no blood. Do I have no blood in that arm? They've been taking so much blood today. Maybe I ran out. All right. So the 39 unit, they're going to rebuild the deck, and then once the deck's rebuilt, I'm putting a new railing around the outside, painting the deck and the railing black, and we're going to paint the building. The building right now is that ugly 1960s color, green or whatever. We're going to paint it probably a gray, bluish gray, fit into the neighborhood. So we're doing that. So that's the extent of the outside and the new lighting scheme. On the inside, we're going to renovate each apartment one at a time, and that's the extent of the renovations. Of course, I'm moving the laundry room upstairs out of the basement into the front lobby area, where that way it's more convenient for the tenants to use. So, oh, is that what it is? Do I have to stop talking? Somebody said I have to stop talking till it finishes. Maybe I'm ruining.
That's why I got
Am I ruining it for you?
Okay, I got it.
I don't want to make your job. Oh, okay, it worked. All right, good. So I'm still alive. All right, thank you. So anyway, see, they're very, very nice. Very, very nice here, and I'm probably an annoyance to them, 'cause every time they come in, I'm doing something crazy. Earlier today, I was on the phone. What's impossible, I'll never do it. Never do it. Impossible, and I'll never do it. I don't know. I don't find anything to be impossible. But we'll see. Maybe. She was very nice. Yeah, they've been really nice to me today. Like I said, I'm very happy here. But you know what she did? Look what she did. Look what she did. She left the door open. They left my door open. My door. They left my curtain open. Anyway. I want to know. She was nice. I want to know what I'll never do. Yeah, I'm okay. I am okay. What's my favorite beer? Now that's funny. So, who's asking that question? I'm going to tell you why that's a funny question. I don't usually drink beer. In fact, in my lifetime, I can honestly say I probably had less than 10 beers in my whole life, and I'm 57. The reason why that's funny is this. The other night, I went out to dinner with the family. So we were at Texas Roadhouse, and Carissa was sitting underneath a Coors Light sign, and I was thirsty. So came around ordering the drinks. I usually get an unsweetened iced tea or a water. I'm very predictable. Carissa and Emily, they get root beers, and Benjamin gets chocolate milk. We're all predictable. So I was really thirsty, and like I said, I've had under 10 beers in my whole life. My family knows it. Everybody knows it. I don't drink a lot, but when I do drink, I like Di Serrano and ginger ale, amaretto and ginger ale. I've never acquired a good taste for alcohol, and I don't drink that much anyway. But anyway, so the other night she was sitting underneath the Coors Light sign. So the waitress came over to take our order. Everybody ordered, and I said, you know what? I would like you have Coors Light on draft? She goes, yes. I said, I would like one in a tall glass. And I had a Coors Light, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. Now, who's to say I'm not going to have one next week, or I might go another 10 years without having one. I owned a nightclub and never, ever drank a beer in my nightclub. Never drank a beer in my nightclub. And I owned a nightclub for 17 years. I just never acquired the taste for alcohol. But that's a true story. So I ended up having the Coors Light so I ordered the Coors Light, right? So Krista looks at me, there's something wrong with you. I said, what's something wrong with you? She goes, you've been acting weird lately. So why? When do you order a beer? I've known you 25 years, you've never ordered a beer ever. I said, I'm thirsty. You're under the Coors Light sign, and I'm interested in something nice and cold, so I got it. And it was nice. It was ice cold Coors Light, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So that's what happened there. So that was funny the other night, you know. So anyway, anybody that came on my live late, I've been on since about 10 past 7. I am going to download it and put it on my Jeff Never Had Job Security YouTube channel, which is now working correctly. So that's the story with that. Let's see. It's funny because on TikTok, you know, when I put TikToks on there, you know, mostly positive comments, you get some negative comments. One of the things I was thinking about the other day is that, you know, I try a lot of different things. So you see, I try different things. The house, the carpenters put the two vanities next to each other. Not my choice, but they did it. We're going to see what happens. It went on the market today. I will report back to you because people had a lot. First of all, the comments that were made were wonderful. I agree the toilet should be where the vanity is. There should have been a privacy wall there, and the vanity should be where the toilet is. Absolutely. They chose not to move the toilet because of the amount of plumbing involved with the stack and moving the toilet. That was just, I guess, cost prohibitive in the scheme of things in us selling the house. That being said, though, they could have gone with one giant vanity and still had a privacy wall with the toilet. So I will let you know how it went. But anyway, so I just like to talk about those things because do I make mistakes? Absolutely. Do we do things wrong? Absolutely. But the more things we do, the more chances I want to do it right. So that's why when people point out the negatives, well, we did a lot of positives to get to that negative. So we take the chances, you know. Yeah, I'm okay. Somebody's asking me, I'm okay. Had chest pains this morning. And I came to the hospital because I was injured. So I always tell people, look, I mean, seriously, I had to change chest pains yesterday. I probably should have come yesterday for two reasons. One is I would have been gone by now. If I came yesterday, I would have had the pains. But instead, this morning they came back again. I came here this morning. So that's why I ended up here today. And they did some tests, and let's see. Oh, I see. It's a troll. Okay, all right, thank you. I didn't realize that. Oh, no, I understand that you can't stop talking. I know. I can't stop talking. Well, you know what it is? Things keep popping into my brain. Plus, people ask questions, and it leads me to a story and answering a question, and so on and so forth. You know, yeah, I'm good. I really am good. I would tell people I'm not good. I have nothing to hide. What do I have to hide? Again, I'm sharing my experiences. That's why I was saying about the stress. Owning the properties is not stressful. It's fun for me. I enjoy owning the properties. I enjoy fixing them like I talked about, and stuff like that. It's the other stuff that's stressful, the other things that come into my life that are unexpected, derails me. Even today I woke up with the plans on designing a kitchen and 2 fire alarm systems, and look, I didn't get any of it done. I'm sitting here in the hospital getting tested, okay? So it derailed me. Yesterday afternoon, I went around to the different properties with 2 property managers, and we had some aggravations, some broken down trucks came to my mind, and we had, you know, just the lawyer representing the 19 tenants in that building. That was a little thorn in my side yesterday that I think went away today. But yeah, that's the type of stress that aggravates me, you know. Well, I appreciate you praying for me. I do appreciate that. I do. And, you know, listen, as you guys know, I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the likes. I never ask for them. So I'm not going to be petty like that and ask for, you know, push the plus. Not going to do that, but I do appreciate every single one. And I appreciate you guys telling other people to follow me and like me, because that means that you really appreciate me and you're recommending me, you know. by the old drive-in. You know what's funny about that? I always thought, okay, talk about drive-ins make money, right? So when I was younger, and I'm sure you folks did, Showcase Cinemas. If you ever went to Showcase Cinemas, they used to have a commercial before the movies of a big giant flea markets in Massachusetts, drive-in theater. In fact, I'm going to give you some information that you may not know. These giant drive-in movie theaters were also big flea markets. Well, Sumner Redstone, if you don't know the name, Sumner Redstone, he used to own all those drive-in movie theaters in Massachusetts and New England, and he did these giant flea markets there. Sumner Redstone made so much money doing that, he opened up Showcase Cinemas, and by the way, owned Viacom, CBS, Sumner Redstone, turned into a huge conglomerate by starting out with these drive-in movies years ago. One of his first TV production things he owned was MTV. Sumner Redstone, he started MTV. So I used to go to the movies when I was a teenager. Before the movie theater if you remember, MTV used to use those as the previews before the movies. They used to have MTV, and of course they showed the drive-in theaters advertising them to go to the drive-in theaters. So a little piece of trivia there, but that shows you the money that you can make in drive-in movie theaters. And that being said, every year, at least once a year, we go as a family to the drive-in. We take the kids and we go to the double feature. We never make it to the second movie because the kids were young then, but we take the convertible. We'd put the top down on the convertible, and we would go and we'd watch the movie right in Smithfield. What the hell's the name of the movie theater up there now? Why am I having a blank there? The one in Lincoln there, 146. The Rustic Drive-In. Now the Rustic Drive-In right now shows regular, mainstream movies. When I was a young teenager, it didn't. It showed X-rated movies. I guess at one point it showed mainstream movies. Then, when drive-ins kind of lost their oomph, in the 60s and 70s, they went to showing these type of movies, right? But then it went back now and it shows regular mainstream movies. So we take the kids, we love it. And they have 3 screens, so you can pick what movies you want to watch when you go there. But yeah, drive-in movies are great. So we go at least once a year because we enjoy it. Something fun to do with the kids. The Rustic, exactly. Yep, Lippy, you're right, the Rustic. And so we go there at least once a year, maybe a couple times, and it's fun. It's fun. You know what else is fun? Talking about movies, because I love the movies. I love going to a movie theater. Like I said, we went last week to Scream. We like going to. There's none really around here, I don't think. Oh, actually, maybe in Lincoln there is one now, where you go and they actually serve dinner during the movie. That is really cool. What a great idea for the movie theaters. You know what? Why not be a restaurant and show a movie, right? So we do that. We enjoy it. We went to the very first one we ever went to is we did a weekend away. So it was about 10 years ago. We took the kids. We went to Canopy Lake Park up in New Hampshire. Went to Canopy Lake Park on Saturday. We stayed at a hotel that night. Well, while we were at the hotel, across the street was a movie theater. We went there, and it was one of those movie theaters that served food. So we went to that movie theater, had dinner. It was really cool. And then the next day we drove to Water Country in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So that was like a little weekend thing we did. And of course, that was like 10 years ago, and I remember it vividly. And those are the memories that the kids will remember, things like that, because that was really cool. So that's when I talk about doing things with the family, doing things with the kids, having memories. When I was broke and had no money, and we were just barely making ends meet back in 2008, 2009 during the banking crisis. We were coming up with free activities. I used to take the kids to Brayton Point Park in Newport. We'd go kite flying all the time. It was fun. We used to go to the forts, the old Army forts in Jamestown and Newport, free and fun. So we used to do stuff like that. It was great, We'd go for just car rides. We used to like going for car rides. But anyway, I'm getting off the beaten path. A big red flag when purchasing a property that would make me back out. Well, a big red flag would be if I go and there's a ton of really bad code violations that can't be fixed, like major structural stuff. I'm not talking about replacing posts and stuff. Major structural problems in the house, or if the problem had a fire, if the house had a fire at one point and had been repaired, was repaired right, the electrical. So that might be a big red flag. But typically, a house that has huge red flags is such a good deal that it might be worth to accept the red flag issues. But the only time I ever back out is if it's just the numbers don't work. That's the biggest red flag. If the numbers don't work for me, no matter how I do the math and do it and slice it either way, if I'm not going to make any money or be able to break even on the property before I can, improve it, then I'll just back out. So that's a red flag. Sometimes a red flag is if the person has a portfolio of properties, say they have 20 properties, and they're an investor, but they're selling this one. Why are they selling this one? What's the problem with this property? So sometimes that will make me wonder what the story is there. Okay, but typically when I back out, it's only because of financial. It's not worth it. They're asking too much. The math doesn't work. There was a property I looked at about a year ago. It was a property that shared a common driveway with the neighbor. And that one made me back out for a couple of reasons. One, I could see there was always a dispute between the neighbor and them. I don't know if it was the neighbor, I don't know if it was the seller, but that concerned me that I would have to deal with that in an investment property with tenants. Was it worth it? I didn't think so, so I didn't bother buying that one. I've had a competitor try to sabotage a property. I've never had a competitor try to sabotage a property. I don't really have competitors. I mean, there's so many rental properties out there. I know a lot of my colleagues who buy properties like I do, so I wouldn't say they try to sabotage a property. There's no reason for them to do that. Though, when you go to the auction, you have competitors try to sabotage a property at the auction, and they'll do things like, the heating system's no good, that's going to cost $5,000. So they'll start saying things at the auction, trying to, dissuade you to not purchase it or bid on it. That's happened before many times. That's happened a lot of times. Or the best one is they'll be like, oh, it's occupied, trying to scam you. I like it when it's occupied. If it's occupied, that means it's being lived in, it's being taken care of. So it's just funny when you go to the auction, some of those things happen. But no, I've never had a competitor sabotage a property. Well, I think I've had neighbor competitors try to sabotage me by calling a building inspector and calling on this and calling out, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. I've had that done before, but that only happens once. In other words, once they call the building inspector on you, that happened to me. I'll never forget this. I was installing a door in a property. There was a door there that was boarded up. It's a boarded up door, but I wanted to use it as an exit door. So we took the boards off, took it down, and we installed a door. The neighbor called the building inspector. The building inspector came over, said, you're putting a door in without a permit. Well, technically, I guess he's right, because at that time, it was a boarded up door, so it was a wall, it wasn't a door. If we were replacing a door, I think it would have been a different story, but because we installed a door. So we pulled the permit, we put the door in, not an issue. But I don't know why the neighbor would have done that or whether the neighbor would have cared. So I think that was a little weird, that the neighbor was either jealous. I don't know, it didn't make sense to me. But we fixed the problem, and that was that. But you know what? It was a wall. It was a cinder block building, so when they closed in with wood. It was a 36-inch exit door. Why they would have closed it in, I don't know. Stupid. But anyway, we put it back to being a door. So the thing is that I've always said this before. Here's a good example. If you're in a butter to a piece of property and that property owner wants to do something to the property, upgrade it, enlarge the house or the building, add an outbuilding, do something that requires a zoning change. What happens is they have to send out letters to all the abutters to let them know, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's going on in that piece of property. This is what they want to do. They tell the abutters, because we have the right then to go to the hearing and speak for or against the proposal. I, obviously having 60 pieces of property, get those letters all the time, because I have different neighbors, especially in the commercial areas, that are wanting to do things. Whether it's putting up a street sign, whether it's putting up an awning, whatever it is. I have never spoken out against one, because I don't care. I encourage improvement. I encourage making something nicer. Loud nurses. So I encourage it. I'm impressed when people are fixing up their property, making it nicer. I'm proud of them. I'm impressed by them. I look to them. I'm not here saying, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's so easy in life to be negative and say you don't like something. It's harder to find the niceness or the goodness, to say, hey, that's really nice. That's going to be a good idea. So I always support my neighbors whenever they go to get a zoning change. I've never, ever seen one where I've had to say no or fight it. I want to encourage improvement of the property. It makes my property look better, appear to be better. So, so that's the other thing too. There's so many people out there just so naysayers, everywhere. And yeah, I always, when I get those letters, absolutely, go ahead. I don't go to the hearing. By not going, I'm supporting it. So that's why you don't have to go to the hearing to support it. It's only the negative people that show up, I've had people go against me at hearings. I told the story way back on my TikTok, the one in West Warwick zoning board, where the neighbor went and talked against me in the hearing. It didn't do him any good. I ended up getting my thing. But at the same time, people have spoken against me doing things, but I've gotten it every time. I've never not been approved. One time I wasn't approved, but it had nothing to do with the neighbors. I wasn't approved because the zoning board didn't approve it. Since then, it's changed. So let's see, what else do we have? Good evening, how are you? So again, anybody who's just come on now, I've been on now for a couple hours. I'm in the hospital. I had some chest pains this morning. I thought I was going to be here for a few hours. They kept me overnight. I'm here till tomorrow, having a stress test tomorrow. But I had already scheduled my live, so I said, I'm going to do my live. Why not? I'm here in the hospital, not doing anything. I'd be laying down watching, watching Wheel of Fortune or something, right? So it's helping me pass the time. I'm answering questions. I'm getting some good comments. So it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Do you remember the Seinfeld episode with the sponge bath? That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, maybe I'll get a sponge bath, Oh, God. That was so anybody knows Seinfeld, when George was visiting his mother in the hospital, and it's the curtain, the curtain, the opaque curtain, right? The opaque curtain, and there was a lady behind the curtain getting a sponge bath. I think that was the episode. Wasn't that the episode with the contest? I think that was the same episode where they had the contest, and Elaine ended up losing the contest, right? That was funny. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the sponge bath. So, yep, I remember that because, Seinfeld. That's my favorite show of all time, Seinfeld. So my humor, right? Obviously Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm. What was another one? Some of my favorite ones over the years, The Office. Lately, there isn't many sitcoms that I really watch. You know what? The only one is The Family Guy. Like, I'll go and look for that and watch it. But during the week, there's really not any sitcoms. I did like Two and a Half Men. I loved Two and a Half Men when Charlie Sheen was on it. Once it switched, I like Ashton Kutcher. I just didn't like when it switched. It jumped the shark, in my opinion. But I did, not that I don't like Ashton Kutcher, I just didn't, it wasn't as funny. The jokes got tired, Yeah, they haven't had me report the surgery yet, make money. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the story with that. So, let's see. Yeah, when Charlie left, the show just changed. It was just, So that's why, but again, I like that show. So there's always been like one show that I'll watch. Like, I can't watch like 5 sitcoms at a time. Like I said, at one time it was Cheers, then it was Frasier, MASH when I was younger. And then as I got older, I picked one that I really like, sitcom I really like. The other thing that I like is this. I do not like heavy dramas, like TV dramas that, like I never liked Criminal Minds. That was one I didn't like. My wife loved it. I didn't like Criminal Minds. I didn't like heavy. After working all day, after being stressed out all day, whatever, I don't want to come home and watch a heavy show. I like shows like Magnum PI because it's a light show. It's lighthearted. There's nothing crazy going on about it. So I like the lighthearted shows. I like Bull, lighthearted show. It's not deep. It's not dark. It's not. So I don't. I want to be entertained at night. I don't want to be. So I love Family Guy. Family Guy, I love it. It's one of my top 5 shows. I love it. I've seen every episode. The other night, the episode that was on was the saddest episode. It was when Brian died, got hit by the car and died, and they killed him off for a few months. It was shocking. It's a funny episode because it starts out really, really funny. So I know a lot of people don't like the Family Guy. It's a cartoon and this and that. But if a couple of things about the Family Guy, fact that it's based in Rhode Island, that's one thing. The inside jokes are funny. But like, for instance, this episode, and I'll explain it to everybody, and maybe people get the joke. So Stewie, who's the baby, okay, he has a time machine. So he goes back in time. I know it's crazy. He takes Brian with him. So they go back into the 1600s of Indians. They go 16 and 1700s where the Indians are. And they bring guns with them. And they give the Indians the guns. They hand the Indians the guns. Well, the Indians don't know how to use the guns. And all of a sudden they just start shooting each other. So Stu goes, oh. And he grabs all the guns back. He goes, I have to take these back from you Indians. You know what I mean about taking them back, right? So the inside joke, Indian giver. Which was really funny how they did it, how they presented. He took all the guns back, but it was just funny. You know what I mean because you guys do it. So that was the opening of the show. And to me, that's funny humor. That's funny humor, the way that they do it. Okay, it's cartoons, but it's written adult. It's adult humor. But anyway, so that's why I like the Family Guy. The Marcus Welby, MD, well, that goes way back. I think I was 5. I was young. My neighbors here entertain, so I don't think they can hear me. I really don't, because where I am around the corner, I got a wall here and a wall there. They stuck me around the corner, so I don't think the neighbors here can hear me. But I'm sure they're not entertained. If they could hear me, no, I'm sure they're I'm sure they're not entertained at all. I know so if you stick sometimes you're in good thing they didn't put me in a room, because if they put me in a room with somebody else, I could never do my live. So they did me a big favor by leaving me down here. I never watched South Park. My friends did. Now, there's a good example of, same thing with The Simpsons. I used to have a roommate who loved The Simpsons, okay? I never watched them, but look at The Simpsons. Look what the success that show is. Unbelievable. South Park, the success, right? So I can't say I didn't like it because I never saw it, But I do. I just happened to start watching The Family Guy. And so here's the joke of The Family Guy, right? So the very first episode, I think it was the first episode, or it might even have been the pilot. So Peter loses his job, the father. He loses his job, right? And he goes on welfare. So he's getting his welfare check in, right? So Lois comes home that night, right? She comes home with the kids. And there's all car parts and tires all over the yard, right? So she says to Peter, what are you doing? What's this mess? The car parts. He goes, hey, we're on welfare now. That's what you do. Well, that's kind of funny because, again, it's a Rhode Island joke, but it's funny. Car parts and tires. So on welfare. That was a funny joke to me. Simpsons. Okay, so here's one in Simpsons, right? So Homer Simpson. Now, again, I only watched a few episodes, but I remember this episode because it's adult, real humor. Homer is leaving work. He works in the beer place. So he's leaving, and he says to his buddy, hey, I forget what his name is, Al, hey, I'm leaving early. Can you punch me out? Now, the reason why that's funny is because that's realistic. That's what happens in a lot of these companies where they have punched the clock. They ask their friend to punch them out. And that, to me, is funny humor. It's wrong to do that, but it's funny that kids are not going to get that joke. Kids aren't going to get it. Business owners are, bosses are going to get it, employees are going to get it, but kids are not going to get that joke. So let's see, what else do I have? Gilligan's Island. Yeah, I used to like Gilligan's Island. The funny thing about Gilligan's Island, it was so, of course it was unrealistic, but how people used to show up on the island, that boats broke down and got stranded, and they always got off the island, but Gilligan and the crew never got off the island. And I know Mary Ann was hot. I know. So, Mary Ann was hot. Anyway. Do I like Joe Biden? I don't get into politics on my TikTok. Everybody knows that I do not get into politics. I wish we had a better candidate than Joe Biden when he ran. I know that he was for a lot of people, he was the only other choice, obviously. So that's why he got elected. I don't think he's done much. So I can't say I like him or don't like him. He hasn't done much. Not done much for me at all. But that's as far as I'll take, because I don't get into politics. I vote for the person, not for the party. I vote for who I think is going to do a good job. That's how I've always been. So that's why I don't get into politics. I'm feeling good. Somebody just asked me how I'm feeling. Yeah, I know. The Simpsons. Yeah, South Park's been on 25 years. Can you believe that? That's what I'm saying. Those cartoon shows, like Family Guy. Well, how long's that been on? It's been on for probably 20 years. Simpsons even longer. The Simpsons been on since I was still teaching. because I had just left teaching in 1995. I think I had just started right around then, even before that. Because when I left teaching, I taught special ed. I specialized a program for kids with autism. And when the kids turned 21, they then left the group homes and would go to independent living. So I became an independent living provider. And one of the, I'll say kids, one of the young adults moved in with me. And he used to love The Simpsons. That's how I know The Simpsons has been on forever, you know? So, anyway, how do I feel? I feel good. You don't, something, I don't, deep story time? You don't want deep storyline? Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I don't like the deep storylines on TV shows. I just don't, because, you know. So for instance, I don't like deep storylines, but I love. So my favorite series of all time right now is Ozark. Oh, what a great! I don't know if anybody on here has been watching Ozark, but I mean, I binged it the first night it came out. The last episodes, you know. Last few episodes, I binged it when it came out. See what time? At 9 o'clock. So. Almost 2 hours, but that's okay. My battery's low again. Yeah, but I'm not pulling out. It keeps telling me it's low battery. Who cares? Yeah, Ozark is great. You know, the writing. Jason Bateman's my favorite actor anyway. I loved him. You know, everything he's ever been in, I've loved him in. Arrested Development was a fantastic show before its time. What a great show that was. So I like Jason Bateman, but Ozark is just unbelievable. The writing, the acting, the storyline. And to me, it's not deep. It's really not a deep storyline, even though, you know, things are happening and stuff like that. It's not a deep storyline. I think it's because there's some crazy stuff happening. Just you know what? It was no different than Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. That's one of my other favorite series of all times is Breaking Bad, and the same thing, you know. Hey, Southern Ohio, how you doing? Big Bear Lake. That's right, Big Bear Lake, Southern Ohio. Yeah, 1989 for South Park. Look at that. That's unbelievable. Tips for renting with bad credit. If you have people that have bad credit who you're renting to, or are you asking if you have bad credit and you're renting? Because people that have bad credit, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I don't do credit checks because it doesn't matter, because you could have great credit today and lose your job tomorrow. You have a great job today and lose tomorrow. So I don't do credit checks at all. I do background checks, but I do not do credit checks. The only thing I would say is if somebody has, well, again, you don't know they have bad credit. I do a work check, an employment check, you know, of course, you know, their past employment, and of course where they've been living. I even do a rent check for people to move in. But see, the problem is everybody has bad credit. I mean, I had bad credit until 3 years ago. I had terrible credit. 400, 500. I think my credit score was lower than what the actual scale was, okay? Now my credit score is nearly perfect over the last 3 years. But it took me, again, I'm 57. It took me till 54 to figure it out, right? But that's why I do not do credit checks on people, because there's a reason. People always have a reason. Divorce, breakup, a business going out of business, whatever it may be that affected their credit. So I don't do credit checks. I rent based on the character of the person, where they lived, where they work, that type of thing. So that's what I do there, you know. Let's see. Any other one? Oh, here we go. Yeah, people love Gilligan's Island. All right, I guess that's all my feeling. All right. What did you teach? So I taught special ed, but I worked at a school that specialized with kids with autism and behavioral disorders. Okay, so that's where I worked. I was there for 5 years in Providence. I left there in 1993, so we're talking years ago, and then 1993 is when I started my business full-time, my audiovisual business. I went into that full-time. But I did that, and I'm still friends with people on Facebook that I worked with, people I taught with. In fact, one of the girls that I taught with, girls back then, right, her son, she didn't even have a son back then, who was 25, just started working for me last week, just by sheer coincidence. And I used to teach with his mother. She now is a teacher at a public school, but I used to teach with his mother at the Groden Center in Providence. So that goes way back when. But yeah, her son just started working for me last week in the audiovisual business, and which I'm really happy about. His father and I are very good friends. And his father and I have known each other for years. Went to high school together. So it's just all like coincidence. But yeah, no, he started last week. He's excellent. So let's see. All right. Bad credit. I did. I'm just trying to look over here. You know, The Odd Couple. The Odd Couple was a great show. It really was, you know. Felix and Oscar. You know, it was a really good show. And that show, again, it was just really done well. It really was done well. So, yeah, I was a kid when that was on, obviously. That was before my time a little bit. But even that, so when I was a kid, right, my parents, because you kind of do what your parents do, my parents used to watch Mary Tyler Moore on Saturday nights. They used to watch the Carol Burnett Show. So I used to watch Mary Tyler Moore, the Carol Burnett Show. Great shows. Bob Newhart, the original Bob Newhart show when he was a psychologist. Great shows, great writing, really, really, really good shows. So those are the type of sitcoms that I used to watch. I grew up with watching those, you know, sitcoms, more of the adult sitcoms, because, you know, Mary Tyler Moore, they were more for, you know, adult. They weren't for kids, you know. Let's see. Poor guy, what? What was that? Yeah, I'm a poor guy. I'm feeling better, make money. Benny Hill. You know, Benny Hill, that was when I was in high school. Benny Hill was huge when I was in high school. And yes, we watched Benny Hill. The kids used to like, my friends used to like Benny Hill. In fact, I used to watch it because my friends would watch it. I didn't know what it was. My friends would say, hey, you got to watch Benny Hill. But it was very, very funny. The British humor. Yeah, the British humor. Well, that's just like The Office. The Office started where? In England, the British humor. You know? Oh, Bewitched. Yeah, Bewitched was funny. That was a good show with the two Darrens. Bewitched. You know, that was funny. Well, Esmeralda, she was terrible on Bewitched, wasn't she? And Dora, the mother, and Dora. Hey, all these things are coming back to me. I haven't seen the show in 20 years. I remember the names, right? Darren, Esmeralda. You know, so who's the daughter? Tabitha. You know, I mean, why am I remembering these things from way back then, right? So, yes, I'm in the hospital. Somebody's asking me in the hospital. So if you haven't known, I had some chest pains last night. I came to the hospital this morning because they were still happening, and they did some tests on me, and I thought I was leaving here around noontime, and then around 1 o'clock they told me I was staying overnight. They're keeping me until tomorrow afternoon, actually. So I do have health insurance. So here's what's interesting. So, because I'm a joker, right? So they come in, you know, after they admit me, they come in with the rolling cash register, and they start, you know, asking me for my health insurance and stuff. So my copay is $200. So she said, your copay is $200. I said, really? So I said, how much is my copay? Just to be here for the day. And that's okay. It is what it is, right? So I do have very good Blue Cross insurance. I've had the same insurance for years. So I paid the $200, but then I said to her, what happens if they admit me, though? Do I get a refund? She goes, oh, yeah. She goes, because if you get admitted, there's no copay. So it's a different, you know, it's not an emergency visit at that point. So I get my $200 back. So that's good. You know, so, and I got free meal, right? So that's the story with that. But yes, I'm in the hospital till tomorrow afternoon. No, I didn't lose my mind. How are you feeling? What did you find out? You know, I haven't found out much. Right, so I found out that my blood pressure is good. They did check my sugar. My sugar level is very high. It's over 340. So they gave me some insulin to bring my sugar down. My diabetes has always been difficult to manage. I'm on the cusp of having to take insulin. I still take medication. I take 3 medications right now. I take Janumet. I take metformin. Actually, I take metformin. I just switched from Janumet. I take metformin. I take Fazriga, and I take the one that is once a week. I can never think of that one there. I take it once a week. It's on TV, but I take it once a week. Anyway, it will come to me in the middle of my talking. So, see, I can remember, maybe I'm losing my mind, because I can remember names from sitcoms from 30 years ago, but I can't remember what medication I take once a week. You know? It's not Janumet. Trulicity. There it is, Trulicity. I take that once a week. Whew. I got nervous there for a minute. I was thinking I might have to switch to a different hospital. So I passed all my tests, except they said there was one little anomaly on the EKG, I think they said. And that's why they give me a stress test tomorrow where you run on the treadmill. So I got that tomorrow morning. So, oh yeah, Ozempic. That's not. I don't take Ozempic. I don't take that one, but that is the other one. Yeah. No, I take Trulicity once a week. I every Friday morning. I picked Friday, so every Friday morning. All right, Uncle Jeff. I love seeing you live. JNO 804. I wonder who JNO 804 is. We'll figure that one out. You probably do check up anyways. I hope everything's just. So I go to the doctor every 3 months. Oh yeah, Roseanne. The original Roseanne show was good, very good. She was great. Comedy was fantastic. You know, even the new one was good. She should never have got kicked off. That was ridiculous. You know, I don't know what's going on with this crap. I mean, I think everybody should have a right to say what they want to say, and if people don't like it, change the channel. That's the way I look at it. If you guys don't like me right now, what are you going to do? You're going to go watch some girl dance around with her boobs hanging out, right? So you have options on TikTok, right? So same thing on regular TV, right? Regular TV, just change the channel. If I don't, I mean, I don't like hearing people talk negative about other people. It doesn't do any good. Nothing good comes from it. It's not positive. So I will change the channel. That being said, they can say it, but I don't want to see it. You know, that's my position on it anyway. You know what I'm saying? What did they say? I didn't realize they kept me. Yeah, they kept me. They kept me. They just said they want to do more tests on me. So they've been doing this thing every 3 hours. They do some blood test on my heart every 3 hours. And then also they've been checking blood every 2 hours. They come and take my blood. And they always, by the way, I learned something today. Like I said, I got this here. They put this pipe in me. See this little pipe right here and there's a little nozzle. I thought they used that to check your blood all day. Nope. They come in and they poke all new holes in you every single time. I guess they need a fresh hole for your blood. I don't know what this is for then. You know what I'm saying? They put that in there this morning, took some blood out of it. That was the last time they used it. You know? You know, I'm not going upstairs to make money. They don't have any rooms for me, so I guess they keep me down here, which is fine. They keep me down here. You know what it is? I'm all set up. I got my iPhone, my iPad. I'm kind of comfortable right now, so I'm okay. Oh, I see. That's pretty cool. You wish you had an uncle like me. So, yeah, I'm the crazy uncle. So, funny story about that. So, when I was young, right? In fact, Brian and Andrew will tell you this story. They'll agree to this story. So, when I was younger, single, a little bit more wild, a little more verbal, aggressive, whatever you want to call it, sometimes I wouldn't get along with my sister-in-laws or my brother. I might say something to offend them. So here's the funny thing. I was always the funkle, the fun uncle. I always had jet skis, jet boat, speedboat, water skis. I always had the fun stuff, okay? What happened was in the summer, right, if I wasn't getting along with my brother or my sister-in-law, what would they do? Well, guess what they would do? You're not going to visit your Uncle Jeff. They didn't bother me. I was the funkle. I was the fun uncle with all the toys. They wouldn't let the kids come visit me to go on my toys, like they were going to punish me. And Benjamin and Brian and Andrew will tell you that right now, and their sister Brittany, they'll tell you that's exactly what used to happen. So who would get punished? They would, because they couldn't come over and play with me, because I was always, because my brothers are all older than me. I'm the youngest one, so I lived at home. They were all out on their own having kids, and I was at home having fun, So that's a true story. So they. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Allison just gave us the answer. See, that's why TikTok is amazing, because you really do learn stuff. That makes sense. They can't flush the line to start with a fresh, clean blood. All right, that makes sense. See? So I assume Allison might be a phlebotomist or a nurse, but that's very interesting. That makes sense. That really makes sense. So I appreciate everybody watching me tonight and everyone following me on TikTok. I really do appreciate it. You're Fleb. Oh, no, is that? I did not know that. So when the Fleb comes in, should I say, hey, you're the Fleb? I didn't know that was short for Fleb. I didn't know they had a nickname. But anyway, I got to tell you a funny story. So talk about phlebotomists, right? So I have to go get blood work done every time before I go to the doctor, for my diabetes. So there's a lab right around the corner from my office. So I'll go, because the labs are all connected. You can go to any lab, they send in the results, right? So I go to this lab around the office of my corner of my office, right? So the guy that's in there, the phlebotomist, he doesn't, to me, fit the role of a phlebotomist. You go in there, first of all, he's 6'5", at least. He's huge, and he has tattoos and piercings everywhere. But he's the nicest guy. I go in there, he does my blood, we're in and out of there, blah, blah. But it's just funny because it doesn't fit, for me, if you picture a phlebotomist, right? I'm picturing, whatever. Again, maybe I'm stereotyping. I'm picturing, a female coming in, a nice looking young female coming in. But nope, you got this guy who's 6'5", big, huge, muscle guy with tattoos everywhere and piercings coming out of it, and he's the phlebotomist. And that's interesting. So anyway, yeah, it might be Scott. Yeah, it might be Scott. That's funny. I don't know. I'll have to look it up because I always write everyone's names down so that way when I go there I can say hi. That's funny. Oh, you know who that is? Yeah, that must be him. That must be him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's right around the corner from my office. And it's just so funny because he's the nicest guy in the world. But again, you go in there and you're a little taken aback, are you getting a colonoscopy? No, I'm not. Thank God. So I am, besides being claustrophobic, I do get anxiety. So I've never had a colonoscopy yet. I use the Cologuard, the thing that comes in the box. I use that. A couple of funny stories behind that. So the way that works, if anybody doesn't know how that works, is you can use that, but if anything comes up abnormal, you have to have a colonoscopy. That is just a Cologuard. It's just a precursor, I guess you could try it. So if I do that, and I do it right, and I send it back to the lab, it comes back with any abnormalities, I have to have a colonoscopy. Lucky for me, I've had that done I've used the box, the Cologuard, I think since it came out, to avoid the colonoscopy. And I've never had a problem, so thank God, let's see. Speaking of colonoscopies, one of my favorite comedians, we talk about sitcoms, one of my favorite comedians of all times, and I do have a very odd sense of humor, if you notice, is Jim Gaffigan. I think Jim Gaffigan is great. His family humor is great. It's adult humor. It's written by him and his wife, and it's just great humor. So I really like him. I watch it. So he had that special. He just had another special that just came out. But one of his best jokes is about the endocrinologist, going to get a colonoscopy. One of his favorite jokes, because he talks about how, he's like, how do you become an endocrinologist? Do you like, photography? Do you like taking pictures? So it's just funny how he tells the jokes. If you ever go on YouTube and just put Jim Gaffigan, endocrinologist, and it's funny. And then he'll say, and then after that, who washes the camera? Whose job is that, right? So it's just funny how he tells about that. That it makes it really funny. But anyway, so he's one of my favorite comedians. I do have, though, an eclectic taste in humor. I like Jim Gaffigan, family fun humor, But then I also like Anthony Jeselnik. If people know who that is, his jokes are crazy, they're dark, but they're funny how he twists the punchline around. So I like Anthony Jeselnik too. So I have a funny taste in comedians. Yeah, my live TikTok is from the hospital. I plan on doing my TikTok tonight anyway, so I figured, hey, why not do it from the hospital? I happen to have my microphone with me. See, I carry this. This is a wired mic. It plugs into my iPhone. And I carry it with me anyway because I use it at the office if I do TikToks from the office. So it was in my briefcase, and when I came here today, well, I have it, so I might as well do my live. And that's exactly what I did. So, oh, that's funny. You asked Scott. That's funny. Yeah. So that's great. See? And but it's just funny. So now, I don't know if he follows me on TikTok, but if he does, he'll recognize me. I'm the bald guy. You had a colon and endo at the same time. You were out. Yeah, so I would have to be knocked out. Just because of the anxiety, everything. Yeah, so if I ever had that, I'd have to be completely knocked out. There's no way I could even be alive or awake, and it makes me cringe to think about it. Taking my blood, not a problem. Come in and poke me, I have no problem with that. So I always have to joke. So listen, the joke would get old, right? The nurse will come in, so they'll stop wiping my arm, right? And then they'll poke me, right? Then after they poke me, I'll be like, all right, let me know when you're going to poke me. So I always do that joke. It never gets old. It's fun. But again, I want to be a good patient. I want to be a happy, pleasant patient. Look, I'm sure they deal with enough miserable people all day long. They don't need another guy being miserable. So that's why I'm always a good patient. I joke around with them, as much as I can, it's uncomfortable. Look, they see sick people all day, people a lot more worse shape than I am. So, and I learned that from my friend Joe Rubin. I talked about this earlier today. He was a great patient. I saw how he was, and I remember him, and I'm the same way. So, you can't use a sick day tomorrow at work. I can't use a sick day tomorrow at work. You're absolutely right. I used it today, my sick day, I got a lot done today. I was laying in bed all day. I got on the phone. I made phone calls. So coordinating things. I did a lot of things today. Other than the fact that I need to go around to properties and put my eyes on things and coordinate things, I got as much work done today as I normally get done, which was kind of cool. That's why in the summer I took a break and I worked from home all summer. It kind of was nice, The problem is that we have so many projects going on. Right now we have 11 projects going around. I have to get to all the different ones to see the different where we're at with different ones. I ordered 7 kitchens. The other day, which I did a TikTok on that. I ordered 7 kitchens. I did so many. I forgot to order one. That's why this morning I got up early, 6 o'clock, went to measure the other one. I forgot all about this other one I had in Coventry. I needed to measure and order. So I measured it, but I didn't order it because I came here. And my paperwork's out in the car. Let's see. Live TikTok from the hospital. Yeah. That's funny about Scott. That's really funny. I used to buff heads if you're in need. That's funny. I know, huh? So, you see, I got the little hair on the side and I'm bald on top. So I do, every month. So I shave my head so it's all even all around, but it only grows on the sides and of course on my back. Well, I got it on my chest. So that was the other thing today too. They were trying to stick the leads on me to do the test, well, they kept popping off because I have so much hair. So I told them, I said, if I knew I was coming, I would have shaved. I didn't really know I was coming today. So. Anyway, any questions about rentals, properties, buying properties? I like to answer those questions, tenants. I will tell you, if you're a tenant and you're a little behind in your rent or whatever, I would apply for rent relief there. I think what happened, and I'm just going on a limb here, I think they have so much money aside right now for it that they're being a little liberal of who they give it to. That's why I told every one of those tenants yesterday, apply for the rent relief. Apply for it. They're giving it out. Apply for it. Again, from a landlord point of view, I'm thrilled they're getting it. Obviously, they're getting caught up in their rent. So, selfish point of view, absolutely. The concern I have is when it runs out, you then still have to stop paying again and paying what your rent was. And that's the problem. Do they get used to, we all, look, it's human nature. I'm the same way. You get used to making that extra money and spending it on something else, and all of a sudden you're going to pay the real bill. It's human nature. I'm just as bad as the rest of them. I'm probably worse, So, wait, are you in the hospital? Yes, I am. I am in the hospital. I came here this morning with chest pains, and I thought they were letting me go at 11 o'clock. They decided to keep me for 2 days. I'm here till tomorrow night now for more tests. So they've only come in, once during my life to check my blood pressure. But I know I'm due for a blood check because they've already checked my blood like 3 times today. So, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might have been stress. I don't usually get stressed out, but yesterday, so I had some things go all bad all at the same time yesterday, or a lot of things came at me all at the same time yesterday. Didn't think it affected me because I usually compartmentalize. I'm very good about putting things aside, or I'll get something, hey, I'll give it to somebody, hey, Andrew, you deal with this, Mike, you deal with this, Brian, you deal with this, and I get it off my plate. But I was in the middle of walking around the houses yesterday, meeting all those lieutenants and things. So it could have been that, because that's when the pain started. But then they came back this morning, so I just don't know what happened. And today, from a business point of view, all good things happened. We got the approval for 39 to be rented. That was a good thing. So we had all good things happen, One of the things I didn't even talk about on TikTok because it's more of a boring thing. We have a building that I sold that has a sprinkler system in it, a fire sprinkler system, and the valve out in the street was bad. It's 50-year-old valve. It was all bad, so it didn't work. Because the valve didn't work, the fire alarm system didn't pass inspection. So I had to change the valve. Well, this started at the end of December. Ordering the valve, right? Took like 4 weeks for it to come in. Finding a company to install the valve. Now, of course, the day they're going to install the valve, what happens? We have a blizzard, right? So now we lose a few days. So then this week we had to dig the hole. By the way, the valve's 6 feet underground. Did I mention that? So you have to dig a hole. I own a backhoe, so we're able to use my backhoe and dig the hole. But it's 6 feet down. We dug the big hole. They finally replaced it today, the valve. But that's all stressful because I want to get it done. I want to get it done for the buyer. The buyer's been very patient. I don't want to make it look like we're jerks. At the closing, they held back some money, held back $20,000 so we would do the work. We want to do the work. So that was a little stressful. But I didn't even tell anybody that story because that's kind of a boring story about a sprinkler valve. But again, it's the comedy of errors, if that's what you want to call it, or the perfect storm. First we had the blizzard. So then the other day they were going to do it. We had that really bad ice storm. So we dig the hole, right? They're about to go in the hole to put the valve in. Now we have an ice storm, fills up the whole 9-foot hole with icy water. Can't do anything with that, right? Now we had to wait for the day. We had to pump that out. So again, that's the extra stressful crap that I don't like, that particular. But I will tell you right now, Tim, who's one of my property managers, I gave him that task to supervise and coordinate. Fabulous. He kept my stress level low. Every day would give me an update as to what took place, where we got with it. He coordinated everything, and it was a lot of coordination. We had to coordinate the water company to shut the water off. Then we had to coordinate, obviously, first dig safe to mark all the property where you can dig. Then the water company. Then we had the backhoe. Then the valve company coming to put the valve in. Then the electric company to run electric to the valve. There's a lot of coordination involved. Then the water company to come turn the water back on. The fire alarm system testing company to come back in and test the thing. So there's a lot of coordination. So I give Tim a lot of credit, something he never did before. Tim came with me with a lot of expertise in managing restaurants. He was a district manager for D'Angelo's for 17, 18 years, something like that. And he came to me. He's one of my property managers. He also manages my 3 ice cream shops. He oversees them. But he did a great job in coordinating this because that is one of those stressful things that I just didn't want to deal with. But he did a great job with it. All right, what else we got? A lot of people are interested in whether I'm getting a colonoscopy. Let's see. Well, thank you for telling me to feel better. Yeah, believe me. So somebody just said, I don't like to go to the hospital because sometimes they find other things wrong, right? Well, I mean, today I didn't expect them to find my blood sugar so high. I think that's another reason why they might have kept me because it was 350, plus they gave me some insulin. So that could be one of the reasons they kept me. So you're right. That's one of the things that makes you nervous. You don't want to find something else wrong, So you're going for one thing and they find something else, I have no idea how my troponin level is. I'll have to ask the nurse. I don't know. See, I don't ask enough questions. Maybe because I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, big money. Yeah, he's volunteering. That's funny. I've evicted a hoarder that wouldn't leave a couple of times, which is a problem because when you do finally get him to leave, you have 5 dumpsters with the stuff to fill. So it's very expensive to get rid of a hoarder. It really is very expensive to get rid of a hoarder. I've bought flip houses that had hoarders in them, 5, 6 dumpsters. A few times I've had that. Only once I had a hoarder that wouldn't leave, that had a ton of stuff in the house, and it's just full of dumpsters. No, I don't take Cuban. I don't take any blood thinners. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have any problems like that. Thank God. It's probably one of the only things I don't have wrong with me, right? But no, I don't have high blood pressure, and I don't. My pulse was good. My blood pressure is good. All that stuff. I don't take it. Thank God. It's probably one of the only things I don't have wrong with me, right? But no, I don't have high blood pressure, and I don't. And yeah, my pulse was good, my blood pressure was good, all that stuff. I don't take it. Hello? Yeah. Good. How do I do it? All right, how do I do it? How do I do it? All right, Andrew wants to be live with me. I'd love to make you live with me. Let's see. Are you? How do you ask me? Are you asking me? Yeah. All right. How do I do it? That. Everybody else does all these crazy things on TikTok. All I can do is answer questions. I don't know. Can the moder? What? Well, I told that. So are you talking about the breasts? Yeah. Yeah. No, oh, no. I will tell that story. Great idea. So, all right. So, well, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. So Andrew's on with me live right now, but we got to figure out how to bring him on so you can answer questions from now on about properties and stuff. That would be good. But yes, I will tell that story right now. That is a funny story. So, yep. So no, that's true. Well, why don't you go on Google it right now and figure out how to do it, and we'll do it. All right. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Where are you? Oh, okay. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Bye. Bye. So anyway, yeah, that was Andrew. I'm gonna have him go live with me. So Andrew reminded me of a really good Joe Rubin story. So Joe Rubin was my 85-year-old friend, 84-year-old friend who passed away 4 years ago, who's a great patient in the hospital. So Joe was sick. He had cancer. Went in the hospital, and he had very minor stroke. But he did come out of it, and he got his faculties back, and he was perfect. The problem is he was a big jokester. So I would be in the hospital with him. I told the story about the big breast. Well, here's another thing that's what Andrew just reminded me. One of the things that in the hospital they do is, even today they did it with me like 20 times. They come in, what's your name, what's your date of birth, they ask you personal questions, when were you born, that type of thing, to make sure that your mind is there. Well, they used to do that with Joe, especially being a stroke victim. So Joe used to always do the same thing. They'd be like, okay, what's your name? He'd be like, Sam. They're like, now they don't know. They think he's delusional and he's having an episode. And they'll be like, what's your last name? He'll be like, Silverscreen, because that used to be his name when he was a movie reviewer, Sam Silverscreen. So I used to have to say, Joe, you got to tell them the truth because they don't know you. So I used to have to always correct him, but he thought it was really funny to always give him the wrong information. But they thought he was actually having an episode. So that was his like dry humor, his funny humor, I guess you would say it. And it was really, really funny. But yeah, so Sam Silverscreen, Joe Rubin, he used to do that all the time. He'd give them all the wrong information. In the nursing home, he used to do it. In the hospital, he used to do it all the time. But yeah, so it was really, really funny. But I used to have to correct him on that. But once they got it, they got it. But he used to give them the wrong information, thinking that it was funny. And I guess it was funny at the time. But I used to have to tell them, Joe, stop it, because they think you're nuts. I have to enable request. Yeah, where do I enable the request to go live? Is it somewhere in my... Oh, what the heck is that? What did I just do there? Live intro. What the hell's a live intro? Flip camera. I don't want to support gift topics. Well, I'm going to invite him to go live because he would be really good to answer a lot of questions and interview and stuff. And he deals with the tenants, so he could tell you tenant stories. See, they don't tell me all the tenant stories that happen during the day and some of the crazy things that happen at all the properties. I know because I used to be dealing with it all the time, So, but let's see. Your grandfather's in his mind is going, yeah, that's too bad to hear that. There's a guy on TikTok who I just started following, and he has his father. I mean, he must be in his 50s, but he has his father who has dementia, Alzheimer's on there, and he's gone viral a few times. It's educational. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's so educational to see how he takes care of his father, and his father forgets things, and He took him for a ride today. I saw on TikTok today where he took him for a ride, and he's getting millions of followers. It's unbelievable, and it's really kind of nice. Those are the things I like, where it's really educational. You know, you see things, you know. You know, being a former special ed teacher with autism, there's another one I follow on TikTok, the Summer School Project, the girl Jordan who has autism and her mother. What a fantastic mother. I am so impressed. You know, dealing with children with autism, a lot of parents couldn't handle it, didn't know how to handle it, didn't want to take the time to learn, didn't have the patience. And I don't know what Jordan's mother's name is on TikTok, but she hosts all the TikToks. But it's called Summer School Project. And for me, being a former special ed teacher, I enjoy watching their videos. What happened in that case is that her mother realizes that, you know, Jordan needs to have a career or vocation growing up because she has autism to take care of herself when her parents are older. And she taught her how to make T-shirts. They sell T-shirts and I guess they do hats. They do all kinds of other stuff now, but it looks like it's turned into a pretty big, successful business from what I've seen, and I'm impressed with that. And but anyway, it's called Summer School Project on TikTok is their name, and that's what it was started as. This business was started as a summer school project for Jordan, and it was all her mother and her father, and really, it's really cool. Yep, Jordan and her mother are amazing, you know, and I love watching them, you know, and her mother's stories are great, and I can relate because she talks about how Jordan started speaking. Well, we had, you know, autism, one of the biggest problems is communication, and we had students that were nonverbal that didn't speak, and she talked about how they taught Jordan how to speak, and just little things like that, and it's great how she sorts everything and puts everything in boxes. That's the vocation she's teaching her. So, and of course, if everybody knows, I'm still very much involved with Special Olympics Rhode Island. Ever since I taught, I still am associated with them, do all the audiovisual for all their events. I attend all their events. I support all their events, so that's one of the areas that I really find interesting, you know. Anyway, I am feeling better. Thank you for asking, Jethro. I am feeling better, and hopefully tomorrow I will go home. Yeah, I gotta get Andrew to join me live. I gotta figure it out. So for my next live, I will definitely figure out how to get, because one of my goals was to have Andrew on one time, talk about, you know, the real estate with me. Have Brian talk about the waste business. Oh, that's exciting. Have Mark and Mike come on and talk about the audiovisual business. That's my biggest business that I own, and really, I spend 5% of my time talking about it on TikTok, and the audiovisual business is my most exciting business, you know. In March, this coming March is going to be the best month we've had in 4 years, all over the country. So I want to talk about those different things too. Yes, no, you're not late to the party. Listen, I'm on, you know, I'm going to stay on for a while. My test did come back okay, except for one. One, I guess, came back a little funny, my EKG test, so that's why tomorrow morning they have me doing the stress test on the treadmill. Yeah, I'm in the hospital because I had chest pains. Hootie 110. Used to love Hootie the Bullfish. Hootie 110. Yeah, I'm in the hospital because I was having chest pains this morning, so I drove to the hospital to get checked. I'm hearing some Irish jig or something from the other room. So I came to get checked. They started doing tests on me. One of the tests they weren't happy with, so they kept me here. They've continued to do tests today, and they're keeping me here overnight till tomorrow. And I have to do a stress test in the morning. Okay, let's see. My best friend says, I hope he doesn't have a roommate listening to him jabber. Well, no, I don't have a roommate listening to me jabber. That's why this worked out good that I'm in my own room. It's a nice private room they left me, and I guess maybe I was, who knows, maybe when I came in today, they realized I was an annoyance, so they kept me in this room. Who knows? But this worked out good because I wouldn't have been able to do my live. And yes, I am jabbering. I'm Jeff the Jabberer. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'll feel better. All right, all the best to you too. Thank you. So again, what I'm going to do is I record all my lives. I put them on my YouTube channel, Jeff Never Had Job Security. So I'll put that on later on tonight after I get done. But yeah, so I told the story about Joe. Yeah, all the items they sell are all be kind. Yeah, so that's really cool. So if you guys get a chance, you know, look at that summer school project. It's very interesting. It really is, you know. I like watching a lot of the positive stuff on TikTok. A couple other people. I don't know if anybody watches Magic Man Steve. I find him to be interesting, very interesting too. I guess he's a magician. He owns rental properties. He owned a an entertainment rental business, I guess. He's in China right now, Japan, buying products for his business. So I find that fascinating. Magic Man Steve, he's fascinating, you know. So I do like, you know, so there's a lot of cool things on TikTok that I like. So I appreciate you guys following me, and I'm sure they appreciate me following them and following you guys. If some, you know, you are some of them, it's really cool. Did you ask Andrew for a sick day? Yeah, I didn't get it. He wouldn't give me the sick day. That's why I had to work today from the hospital. You know, I had to work from the hospital today. So let's see. Having a hard time finding contractors. Yeah, finding contractors right now is very difficult. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. One is some people don't want to work, so they're at home collecting whatever. So that's why some of them you can't find. The other reason is because they're short, they're so busy. You know, right now there's a shortage of electricians, shortage of plumbers, shortage of HVAC people. They're so busy. It's hard to. I could hire 3 right now and still have openings for more. Let's see. What state are you in? I'm in Rhode Island. I'm in Rhode Island. Yeah, Make Money's a contractor. I told you to touch base with me. Make money. You'll make money. If you're with me, you'll make some money. That's for sure. I mean, I have so much work. I could work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and still never get caught up. Just because, you know, the fact that every time we start to get caught up, I buy another piece of property. You know, so we just go from one to the other to the other. You know? But yeah, HVAC guy on the way. So listen, if you're in Rhode Island, you're an HVAC, contact me. I can use an HVAC guy. Right now, I got a guy who's been working full time on one project. Because I have these, in Pawtucket, we're converting this 15-unit building. We're putting all separate HVAC systems in each unit. Got rid of the old steam, or getting rid of the old steam system. Yeah, Andrew won't give me a sick day, and I won't give him a sick day either. So, but no, Andrew works hard. He works very, very hard. He's like me. He'll come in when he's sick. See, I'll work when I'm sick. I'd rather take a nice day off. Right? If I'm going to call in sick at my job, I'd rather take a day off if I'm feeling great, not when I'm sick. I'd rather get paid to be sick. Okay. Is Jasmine a property manager? Oh, no, she's not. So Jasmine, I guess you'd consider our office manager now. She's actually done a great job. She would be a fantastic property manager because she knows how to make the leases. She knows how to deal with the tenants. She collects the rents. So it would be a natural progression for her to become a property manager because I like to move up from within, and she's very good. She's good with the tenants. You know, the one thing that we have to have when we're dealing with the tenants, you have to have people that are outgoing, aggressive, assertive, can talk to them, can ask questions, and not get intimidated by them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm okay. Oh, in Canada. So you work for a couple property management companies here. Yeah. So I'm sure it's probably the same thing in Canada, right? You get pretty much the same weather, maybe a little colder. So you're dealing with pipe bursts and frozen pipes and all the same stuff that we're dealing with, you know? So... Pat's fan's good at finding leaks. So yeah, so the other day, Pat's fan did say something about the other day there were a lot of gas leaks or whatever. So, I mean, is that, I guess, Pat's fan, is that what you do? I mean, are you just specifically a gas person? Do you plumbing? I'm curious, Pat's fan, what you do. Because, you know, what happens is when I see your comments, you and Make Money, you make subtle comments, I like to know what other people do. It impresses me what other people do for a living and, you know, what you do. Obviously, you folks work hard every day, you know. And, you know, so I was supposed to go out to dinner tonight to La Cucina Rustica over on Atwood Avenue. Make Money, you might know where that is. I was supposed to go there tonight and meet people. Oh, you work for National Grid. Oh, there you go. So I don't know if you ever heard my National Grid story regarding gas. I have a really good National Grid story regarding gas. So this is a really good story because, you know, everyone always talks negative about the electric company, the gas company. Everybody talks bad about them. So this is a National Grid story. I'm going to tell you the story. I can back it up. In fact, I'm going to mention somebody's name that you might even know if you work for National Grid Gas, Pat's fan. In 2008, I bought some properties in East Greenwich. It was 4 houses on one lot. And I wanted to install gas in the 4 houses. So I applied for, it was oil. the oil to gas conversion. Back then it was really good. You got free boilers. It was unbelievable. Naturally, they were giving away stuff. They were throwing it at you. So I did a bunch of my properties. So in East Greenwich, I applied for these 4. And I had a specialist that came out. We did the oil to gas conversion. They approved me. So I kept asking, when are you going to do the install? When are you going to do the install? And I was going through different departments, talking to. So one of the things I do, I keep accurate records of every single person I talk to, what time I talk to them, when I talk to them, no matter what it is I'm doing. So I can go back if I ever have to write a letter, if I have to prove something. So National Grid Gas, I was all set to get these installs done, but they never happened. I paid $800 fee. They were only charging me $800 at the time because I was running extra. I was going extra long because one of the houses was way in the back. So anyway, never getting back to me. They would tell me, oh, you can't dig until the summer. Then the summer came. Then they had backlog. Then the winter came. Went on a year and a half. So I got so frustrated, I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to the president of National Grid in Syracuse, New York. And in the letter, it was a 5-page letter. I saved it. I put every date and time I talked to somebody, a copy of my application, how long it took to approve the application, the diagram, who I spoke with at National Grid, all the different people I spoke to in the oil to gas conversion program. I sent a copy to there. I sent the copy to the guy Horan in Providence. I guess he was the head of I forget his first name, Jim Horan maybe, in Providence. So I sent this letter to both of them. 2 days later, I got a phone call, and it was a phone call from the vice president of National Grid in Syracuse. On the phone within 15 minutes, he asked me all kinds of questions. He goes, listen, he said, I'm going to tell you something. You sent such a detailed letter with everyone's name, phone numbers, dates, and times. He goes, we believe everything you said. We're going to use this as a training thing. We're going to do your install. We're going to do it for free. We're going to give you your money back. We're going to do the whole thing for free. We're going to get it done in 2 weeks. And by the way, I'm going to give you this person's name and number who you're going to talk to. From now on, you ever have a problem, you have a liaison that you can talk to directly at National Grid. So this person's name is Lynn Moore. So Lynn Moore, I think, unfortunately, just retired, or she's close to retiring, because I've done probably 25 projects since then in the last 10 years, and Lynn got every single project done for me from National Grid. I don't have the same person at National Grid Electric that I can do at National Grid Gas, but every single project got done perfectly, and it was through Lynn Moore. I would email her, hey Lynn, I have this project, and she took care of it, and she was great. She was fantastic. So I think it was back in about 5 months ago, I was applying for doing another project, and I told her, oh, so what I did was this. So I believe in praising people too. Once I started working with her, I wrote a follow-up letter to the president of National Grid saying, listen, I appreciate you reading my letter, addressing it, and this person, Lynn Moore, has been fantastic, a problem solver. She would call me, she would solve my, she was great. Well, 6 months ago, I said I applied for a project, and she told me that she was retiring. I said, look, you've been the best one to deal with. She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm retiring. I was like, oh, shoot. So now, 2 months ago, I had some gas lines installed at one of my properties in Coventry, the 6-unit, the one I just bought, 7-unit, brand new gas lines. So the installer was there from National Grid who ran the lines because they had to go through, they had to go back to the street. The lines were all rotted and leaking. And I said to the guy, yeah, there's a lady, Lynn Moore. He goes, oh, Lynn, yeah, we're going to miss her because she kept everything together. So even he knew who she was. So that's my National Grid story. Though people get aggravated, you have to pay the electric bill, you have to pay the gas bill. I know the electric company, the gas company. But they have good people there that want to do a good job. And there's a good example. The president took my letter to heart. Vice president called me. Lynn Moore was my contact person and took care of me for the last 10 years. And now I'm bummed out because she's leaving and retiring and all this stuff. So I'm really bummed out about that. So I don't know what I'm going to do in the future. Because even now, I have a project in Cranston that got stalled. They were supposed to put 2 meters in, like, back in, this had to be back in September. And here it is now in the winter. So now, and all they had to do was remove one big meter, house meter, and split the line and put 2 regular meters in for the tenants. And I've been waiting for it, and I have a feeling she retired, and that's why I'm waiting. It's the only thing I can think of, you know. But that's a true story anyway. And so again, I will praise people when praise is needed, and she did a great job for me. For some reason, the questions are showing up late on my iPad. That's why I need to. Let's see. You got no money, no contract, do the plumbing. So, you know, the only thing you could do, see, the problem is it's tough. It's so tough to find a plumber now. It's so tough to find. Like I said, I could have 2 more plumbers and still not get my work done. It's so tough to find a plumber. I mean, now, here's the thing about that. I tell young people all the time, there is a trade. You know, everyone says, they did that, those student left behind bullshit. Remember George Bush years ago? Oh, is that medication?
Yeah.
What do I have?
Torvastatin and gabapentin.
All right. I'll take them. Taking my medication.
Name and date of birth.
Oh, my name is Jeffrey Butler, C. My date of birth is 6/25/64.
Wonderful. All right.
And I'm 5'10", I'm bald. Oh, they're going to move me?
Your blood type? No.
All right. Well, I don't even know what my blood type is. That's funny.
You got a room upstairs.
Oh, so that means they're going to move me?
Yeah. I know you've been having a lot of fun here.
I know. I like this private room.
So
All
we'll
right.
be down shortly to get you.
Okay. I'll have to leave my TikTok then.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right, so I guess when they come down, then I'll have to get off TikTok. All right, so they're moving me. See that? They're moving me upstairs. What's my diagnosis? I'm mental. My diagnosis, we don't know yet, except I was having some chest pains, so we don't know yet. That's why they're keeping me here, testing me. And tomorrow I have a stress test. You know, National Grid, yeah, if they did have a survey department, that would be a good idea. You know, for me owning 66 properties, I get a minimum of 66 electric bills because I get one house bill for every single property. I get a gas bills, house gas bills, probably about 40 of them. I wish there was a person or a liaison that I could deal with at National Grid, because just like a regular person that owns just a single family home, I have to call the regular number, stay on hold, talk to somebody who's reading off a computer screen, who has not been trained correctly, and it's unbelievable. The other thing that happens is this. Last week, so I got an electric bill from my old office, by the way. So my old office where we used to be. The electric bill, the address says pole 39. It doesn't say unit 102, which it used to. For some reason, they changed it to pole 39. Pole 39 is the number of the pole that's out in the street. But for some reason, they refer to pole 39. So Heather calls National Grid. Hey, can we change it to unit 102? Nope, can't do that. You got to pull a permit. You have to have it inspected, blah, blah, blah. So Heather has now learned, just hang up and call back again and get somebody else. And then you get the problem solved. That's what's frustrating about National Grid. It takes 2 or 3 phone calls to get the problem solved. And it will get solved. It will get solved. But it does take 2 or 3 phone calls. Anyway. Oh. So I appreciate that. My accountant, my CPA, just said he's watched my 7 o'clock live and he thought I was hilarious. I'm not trying to be funny. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, he's excellent. So anyway, he's my CPA. Now he's the one who's telling me every day, and he is right. I need a full-time bookkeeper. I need somebody to get me organized. I have 4 businesses. I'm out of control. I don't keep track of anything except I pay my bills on time. Every single bill's paid on time every single month, and that's why my credit isn't yet perfect. But I am just unorganized when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I go through my stack of bills. I give them that. Hey, pay this bill, pay this bill. But for my tax purposes, that's where I'm unorganized. And I screw myself. I screw myself because I make mistakes. I'll forget that I paid for this, I bought that, and this and that. That's why I need a full-time accountant at the office, a bookkeeper at the office, a controller. What's my diet like? That's a really good question. So my diet, listen, I don't drink soda. I drink a lot of water. As far as beverages go, I drink a lot of water. I do drink coffee in the morning. My diet, I don't eat a lot. Of course, I probably eat all the wrong things. On Mondays, I have pasta because I go out with my friends to Mike's Kitchen every Monday. So I have pasta. I like Chinese food, so I have Chinese food once a week. But Carissa does make fish once a week and chicken. I like fish and chicken. So my diet's not that bad. I don't eat a lot of candy. I don't eat any candy, really. I'm not a candy person. So my diet's not that bad. Bread, I used to eat a lot more bread than I do now. I don't eat much bread at all. Bread's really bad for you when you have diabetes, I guess. Bread's one of those things, The problem is certain things I like that I shouldn't have. I love oranges. Well, a lot of sugar in oranges, right? Watermelon, a lot of sugar in watermelon. So that's the problem. So I do eat some things that are wrong for me, you know. But anyway, what else we get? You would like to start small and get big. Okay, well, I think we all want to start small and get big. But I do, you know, again, I was talking about my friend who inherited the house the other day. It's a 2-family house. That's starting small. Keep it, rent it, turn around, get another one, get another one, get another one. It's by volume. People think you buy one rental property and get rich. You're not. Two, you're not. But it's volume. If you have 2 or 3 and you're making $1,000 each one, now it's $3,000 a month. Now that's an income. So that's the way I look at it. Just take your time, buy one of them. I started when I was 36 years old. That's why I bought my first property when I was 36. Had I wished I started earlier? Yeah. Do I regret? I don't know if it's a word, regret. I just wish I started earlier. If I started earlier, where would I be? So that's the story with that. Yeah, I do. So the thing about me is I have a really nice treadmill at home. So once I clean it off and get all the clothes and stuff off it and stop using it for a storage thing, it would be very good to use. And I used to use it a lot more than I do now. But yeah, that's really, and when I did use it, it worked. I put my iPad on there, I put a TV show in there with my headphones, and it worked. It's boring just to run the treadmill. I just can't run to the treadmill. I have to be doing something, you know what I'm saying? So, but it did work, and yes, I have to get back to doing that. So again, with me, I know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, a lot of us know what we're doing wrong. Do we want to admit it? No. So I know what I'm doing wrong. I just have to correct it, you know? Andrew goes to the gym almost every night. He has the willpower and the, go to the gym every night. For me, it's boring. When I owned the nightclub, one of my partners, managing partners, John, is a personal trainer. And he used to personally train. I used to go to him and pay him, and we used to go during the day. And it was nice. It was exciting, and I felt good. You know what I'm saying? So I have to go back to doing something like that, I think, you know. Yeah, my sodium's high, my sugar's high, everything's high, you know. It's unbelievable. But yeah, but I think I'll be fine. Again, they just gave me my medication. So I take this medication called gabapentin, if somebody's a pharmacist out there. Gabapentin, so if you have diabetes, one of the symptoms of diabetes, I guess, or symptoms or whatever, effects, is you get like pain in your feet, pain in your legs. I've never had that. This gabapentin is supposed to, if you do have it, it's supposed to relieve that pain. I've never had the pain, but I take the gabapentin anyway, but I've never had the pain. I've never had that. So my diabetes, I don't get they talk about you get numbness in your toes and your feet. I've never had that. I've had diabetes a long time. My symptoms are different with my diabetes. First of all, I knew I had a problem because I was getting up and peeing. Like, when I tell you 8 times a night, I'd lay down for a half hour, I have to pee, lay down for a half hour, I have to pee. That doesn't happen anymore now that I'm on medication. I got my diabetes under control. But that's some of the symptoms I had. Do you know what I'm saying? So I knew when my blood sugar was high or when I'm having a problem, because that would be part of the problem, you know. Anyway, well, it's funny they got a room for me now. So it's 10 o'clock, right? I've been in this bed, in this room. Well, let's see, I came in at 7:30 this morning. So I've been in here since 7:45, in here since 7:45 this morning. And now they got me a room upstairs. But it worked out perfect because I was able to do my live. So that's really cool. So I'm going to, yeah, so everyone's been taking care of things at work. It's been kind of cool. Today was I guess you could say today was a good test too, because everything got done today without me around. Everything. And tomorrow I'm not going to be around, so hopefully everything gets done again tomorrow, without me around. If that's the case, then you know what? Maybe I won't be around. Maybe I'll take off, so that's fine, But anyway, I guess I'm going to get going because I want to put this up on my YouTube channel. I will post a couple of tomorrow. I do my updates, let everybody know how I'm doing. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow night, yeah, maybe I could do another short live tomorrow night or whatever. But yeah, I could go live in my new room, unless there's somebody else up there. I don't want to annoy people, So, anyway, so the salon, I didn't touch on the salon. So they're in the salon working. They're moving forward on that. Today Well, they're going to get the ceiling installed, the drop ceiling and the heating system, and that's what they're working on now, finishing the heating system and the drop ceiling on the salon. But we got to get that done. We want to get her in there and get that. We're so close now. That's what I'm saying about my project. I had 11 projects going on right now. So in between the projects, you get these emergency heating calls, broken pipe, broken this, leaking ceiling, leaking roof. So in between all that, we're getting that stuff done too. But you know what? We are getting things done, which is really nice. We are really getting things done right now, which is really nice. But anyway, I'm going to get going. I appreciate everybody, again, watching me tonight. It was pretty cool that I was able to do it from the hospital tonight. So that being said, you know, it was a kind of a remote live. And again, I appreciate Make Money for being a moderator. It helps me out a lot. And Johnson has not closed yet, and I'll talk about that this week because my lawyer did follow up on that yesterday. So that's stuff that we can talk about on the next one. But I'm going to post this on my TikTok, on my YouTube live in a little while, my YouTube channel, so anybody that missed this can watch it. And I will post some more updates tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.